in the dark. I like to hang out in the trailer park. I got used tires for sale in good shape. I got every Dukes of Hazzard episode on tape. Who are you to tell me I ain't got no class? I'm proud to be a redneck piece of white trash. I like to dip and I like to spit. I like talking on the phone while I'm taking a shit. I'm proud to be a redneck piece of white trash. If you don't like that, pucker up, motherfucker, you can kiss my ass. Yeah. Well, I like my out-of-date hairdo. I like picking my nose and getting tattoos. I like drinking beer and working on my car. I like to drink beer and piss in my yard. I like to burp and I like to fart. I like picking up girls when I go to Walmart. I like adjusting my nuts and scratching my ass. I'm proud to be a redneck piece of white trash. I like to dip and I like to spit. I like talking on the phone while I'm taking a shit. I'm proud to be a redneck piece of white trash. If you don't like that, pucker up, motherfucker, you can kiss my ass. Yeah. Last night I went to bed with a buzz. I dreamed I was drinking, I woke up and I was. I'll be a drunk redneck until the day I'm dead. I drink beer with my breakfast and before I go to bed. I like to fish and hunt when I'm drunk. I like to fuck in the back of my truck. You can call me rude and crude and crass, but I'm proud to be a redneck piece of white trash. I like to dip and I like to spit. I like talking on the phone while I'm taking a shit. I'm proud to be a redneck piece of white trash. If you don't like that, pucker up, motherfucker, you can kiss my ass. Yeah. Motherfucker, pucker up, motherfucker, pucker up, motherfucker, you can kiss my ass.
Welcome to Hard Right Episode 2, and I am Devious Dave Rose, joined by another rebel, the man known as Tex.
Howdy, good sir. How are you tonight?
I'm fired up and displeased with the lies that are going on, and that's why we're here tonight. That's why we decided instead of going live tomorrow, we have to go live tonight. Welcome, Tex.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Normally this is a Thursday show, but special causes need special circumstances, and this one just went to the top of the fucking list because, we've had about 24 hours to sit on this tragedy that has strangely occurred, and it needs to be talked about. It's there's a trend and a pattern here if you follow the news, and we're going to point that out to you today. But before we start that, I do want to mention, obviously, and it's unfortunately it sounds cliche, but our thoughts and prayers and best wishes go to my fellow Texans in Uvalde, the victims of this, because even though we may have a harder opinion on the subject matter, we still feel for the victims that have to deal with this for the rest of their lives.
Don't believe the media where it's like, oh, well, conservatives basically don't like anybody, and they want people to die. No, that's not the case. Don't.
Right. All of my sympathies, my hats off to the victims of this. Like I said, I weep for my fellow Texans, and we're going to pull through this, and we'll be even more badass than we were before it. So, that being said, let's kick the tires on this motherfucker and let's start telling some truth. What do you think, Dave Rose?
Strange occurrence. Strange occurrence is the word that we use here on this channel because we don't want to get flagged. Right. But you know what we're talking about. Right. Now, actually, since we're doing this, let's focus on the individual at hand. So I'm going to display, because we got to really dig deep into this. The Canadian media, for example, is espousing certain points that they have no right to do. First of all, I'm sorry, fuckheads and fucking chimps. The fact is, you don't understand what the Second Amendment means. You certainly don't understand that a state ruling, again, state rules, that certain things are unconstitutional and basically reiterating the fact that you don't need a fucking piece of paper. You don't need a permit. Your permit is the Second Amendment. It shall not be infringed, period. Again, why does a Canadian seem to understand that? Well, an Argentine-born Canadian seem to understand that better than most people. It's disgusting. It's pathetic. But what I want to do right now is first display. I'm going to display this right now on the screen. It might take a moment for it to display there for you. But this is in the individual that has been confirmed. Now, I confirmed this last night and sent the information to Tex, and he posted it out without any concern about, I'm being offended by his speech. He's like, this was the tranny fuck that killed the kids. Mm-hmm. And you can see this individual. Again, this individual.
And hang on, Dave Rose, before you go any further, that tweet actually got pulled down about an hour after it being posted.
Really?
So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I went back because it was blowing up. Like, it was like I was getting hit after hit on it.
Really?
And I just it went dead for like 2 hours. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I went back and looked, and they took that shit down. So, apparently we can't quite tell all of the truth yet, but we are talking about that tranny fuck that killed these kids. So we're going to freaking euthanize this sumbitch tonight. So,
and that's another thing that people, look, I am infuriated, absolutely infuriated with the media in Canada. First of all, they start talking about shit they don't understand. They're saying, there was this one guy, I can't remember his first name, but Solomon is his last name. He shows up on News Talk 1010. Edward Solomon, something like that. Somebody find that out for me. He's like, these people are saying that the Second Amendment is on like under attack, but it's these kids under attack. That's the stupidest fucking talking point ever. This guy, he wears a small hat, needs to go feet first into a wood chipper. Okay, again,
I'm down with that.
and it's disgusting the way that they're. Oh well, like this guy was like going on and on about the governor of Texas. Like, oh, you're saying that you're protecting gun rights, but all these kids are being assaulted. Like, it's not the Second Amendment. It's the like Canadian supposed journalists probably are worth less than a journalist that works for the Chinese Communist Party, to be quite honest. Then again, now to think of it, they probably work for the same fucking group.
To be fair,
exactly.
So that they're probably different organizations within one company. If I had to guess, these
Basically,
days.
it's
That's
the same
a whole
sort of bullshit.
different fucking show.
But
we can go into that one.
But the fact that these people on talk radio are espousing these certain statements that are totally false, totally ignorant of American laws. And again, you know what? I don't know if I put this in. Yeah, I did put this in the chat. So I'm gonna try to show this image here. Bear with me here, buddy. Bear with me here. But again, the ignorance of many people, Americans and Canadians, is despicable, unacceptable, and needs to be proved wrong. So if you, again, I loaded my fucking image, like my OBS up here with all these different images. Everything that you might say, I'm going to have an image for it. But what I'm trying to find, and bear with me here, is called the Puckle gun. Do you know the Puckle gun?
A Puckle gun? You're going to have to educate me on this one.
Well, I think that you will fucking love this shit. This would be something that you would probably take out for a walk.
I'm assuming a hockey puck is involved or something?
No. This is basically disproving how all these people who think that the founding fathers didn't think about having weapons that were beyond a musket. So,
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, I loaded this fucking thing up with so many fucking images.
Well,
I'm ready
while
to
you're
fucking
looking
respond.
at that,
yeah, you talk.
there we go.
Here we go.
I want to.
Here we go. So I'm gonna display this now. It'll take a second for you to respond, for you to see. But you talk. You talk now.
Yeah, like I said, while this is loading up, just want to quickly thank everybody in the chat. We've got Costanza, who became our #1 fan of this new venture of ours. We've got your client, Casey is Raw. Now, I don't know if he's here to get to get on your good side, because I know lately you've had to kind of chastise him a little bit, but hopefully he earned some brownie points. And Casey, that check better fucking clear, or we might do a show about you next. So watch your ass. So, but yeah, it's okay. Hang on.
There you go, bro.
Puckle Machine.
There you go.
I have seen this. I didn't know that was the name of it, but I have seen this.
Puckle machine gun.
God, I want one of those. Holy
well,
shit.
Absolutely. But tell me again how the founding fathers didn't think about anything more than muskets, or the fact that literally you could own a fucking cannon. Like if I was Tex, I would literally instead of I'd take my dog out for a walk, but I'd take my cannon out for a walk. I put a little leash on the cannon, colored, and I would take it for a walk around the fucking neighborhood. That's how America is, or should be.
Buy one of those old German tanks and make it street legal and just drive that everywhere.
Well, did you know?
That would make me so fucking hard.
Did you know?
That would just make my year.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. In England, it's actually legal to own tanks. So
no. People have them here, too. I just can't afford the sumbitch.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. But they're not inexpensive. But I mean, like in England, for example, it's actually a known thing. Like people buy used tanks and they drive them down the street and shit. The streets apparently are made to handle that sort of thing. But
considering that's not the first time their streets have had Nazi tanks on them, I'm not surprised. So they're probably just getting prepared for the next invasion. But that's a whole different situation.
Well, you mean from the Muslims?
Yeah, of course. Well, really any group that has narrowistic, viewpoints on a whole lot of things and likes to oppress people, much like a different group that we're going to talk about tonight. But
hold on, before you go
you know,
go on, I just want to address this. So the image that, and again, I do have some visually impaired viewers, so I do want to explain the image. But it says the Puckle machine gun created in 1718, 73 years before the Second
that
Amendment,
is sick.
renders the argument that the founding fathers couldn't foresee firearms other
Right.
than muskets invalid. Okay, so and this motherfucker, this pucker gun could, like, and that was the bad thing about back in the day. Like, this thing would fucking splay out your fucking innards on the battlefield.
Right.
You die bleeding
Oh
out,
yeah,
looking at your guts.
you'd be a can of human soup by the time that thing got done with you. Holy shit.
Yeah, so
My
anybody
Lord.
that tries to argue this shit about, what the forefathers supposedly were anticipating, don't know a goddamn thing of fucking about it. But let's go back to this fucking...
Well, see, here's the thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what they had envisioned. The fact that that it says shall not be infringed, that's all you need to fucking know.
Damn straight.
The rest of it is a moot fucking point. There's a reason that is placed at the end of that, because that's the most important part. The beginning leads to that. That's the culmination of every other word there.
Why
if
do you
you
think...
only read 4 words out of that, shall not be infringed. That's all you need to worry about.
And people listening out there,
That's
why
all
do
you
you
need
think...
to fucking know.
Why do you think the Second Amendment follows the First? Because the only way to protect the
Right.
First Amendment is with the Second
Is
Amendment.
with the fucking second.
I mean,
You
it's
know,
ridiculous if
What's
people
the
don't seem to
first two
understand this.
things? What's the first 2 things that get took anytime any group comes in to overtake another one? They try to take your speech and they try to take your defense. And shortly after, they try to make you as stupid as possible. And look how stupid this society is today. We don't even know which bathroom to go to anymore.
Well,
We
I
are
do.
ripe for a fucking takeover.
I
Well,
do.
I do as well.
The one where the
But
tranny tries to
speaking for
sneak into, and I get an opportunity to remind them that they're a freak.
You know, that door on the men's stall could bash some bitch's head in if you really had to.
Oh, there's a lot
It
of
might
different
take you a
things.
few good whacks, but there's
Be
where
creative.
There's a will, there's a way, right?
Exactly.
Right,
Be
right.
creative. Think outside the box.
Imagine this is Zombieland the movie, and you get points for kill of the week. So get creative whenever you're putting these.
I would say, imagine that the bathroom stall is your canvas and their blood is your paint. Now look
But
at
it's oh my god.
Now look at the chat.
I'm-
Sorry, look at the image that I'm
Look at that
displaying now.
thing.
These are,
That
again,
is
this is the shooter,
disgusting.
people. This is the shooter.
Ugh.
And again, you see the tranny fucking flag there. This person
Right.
apparently, wore eyeliner, was, criticized or bullied, as Scunty McFuckface would say.
I wonder why.
Well, I wonder why, exactly, because they're a fucking freak. But, I mean, they did this, and then because they couldn't stand the fact that a predominantly Hispanic school, because that's what it was, and again, another thing that's very in line with strange occurrences is that the majority of kids that were killed were children of border control.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, you've got a good
In
estimate
Texas,
of about
by the way,
10,000
in Texas,
people a day
where Texas is trying to
crossing
crack
the
down on
southern
the border.
Yeah, well, it's roughly about 10,000 a day that the smartest people have estimated of illegals that cross every day into my great state. And there's a lot. Like, my head is ever since we decided to do this show, my head has been in a whirlwind, because I can come at this topic from 15 different ways, and I have a black belt in every single fucking one of them.
Goddamn right.
It's so fucking aggravating. We're dealing with a town near the border. Not only we're not far from San Antonio, Texas here. Whenever all these people, I don't know if you've ever seen the video or not, Dave, but a couple years ago, the InfoWars crew followed a group of Border Patrol agents. They picked up a group of children like babies that need to be in car seats and shit. They literally drove them to San Antonio, and there was like an abandoned AT&T store or like a cell phone place or something, and it was literally a station where they would book these people in, and then they just send them out wherever the hell they wanted to go. They give them a plane ticket, give them a bus ticket, whatever. So we are right in the hub of Texas where so many of these things go down. And we see some tranny Mexican fuck, some wasted skin that I don't even want to say their name to give them any clout. Like, I don't even want to go that far. You can read it yourself if you want to. Just look at the pictures that Dave is throwing up here. When we look at the crime statistics in my state alone, the majority of it comes from, you know what?
We'll call him Spicky McWetback. Let's call him Spicky McWetback.
Spicky McWetbacks. Whenever they come into my state, into my country, the land that I was born in, I've been here 7 goddamn generations. My people have fucking been here. My people been here when this sumbitch was still fucking Mexico, and we beat their asses for it. And these Spicky McWetbacks come over here illegally, commit crimes, kill our people. They kill their own people.
And they get $450,000 from Biden of your tax money.
Yes. Our tax dollars go to these people when they're. If I were to go across the border and to come back, I get arrested. They get a fucking college, sponsorship. They get free health care. They get free money. What the fuck? Trump called these people out. They are criminals. And he said it. Don't let anybody else fool you. The man fucking said it.
Mexico's a failed country. And anybody that claims otherwise is a piece of shit. It's as simple as that. Mexico can't even control the cartels that are running their country. What is that? How does that apply in international law? You call it a failed country. They're not able to control their own borders, which means under normal circumstances, the UN would intervene and would literally send UN peacekeepers to control the country. But no, the cartel controls too much power.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean,
the government's in on it.
They tell you down here, if you're white, don't even go across the border. It is no longer safe to barely go within a couple miles of the border. So many people get kidnapped these days. In my state, my country is being flooded with these Spicky McWetback fucks that come in here and commit fucking crimes. This tranny fuck that you showed, that is the perfect visual image of everything that's wrong with this country these days. We sit here and praise the mentally retarded that want to cut their dicks off and become bitches. We sit here and praise this gay trans agenda, because that's what it is, folks. All of this shit is planned. All of this is coming together. Within 2 weeks, think about this. These strange occurrences are happening more back to back. The last one, you had a white guy carve nigger into his gun and go to a black neighborhood. And when they show you the camera or when you see the TV camera, it's right there where it says nigger. It's pointing it right out for you. The media knows you're stupid. So they have to double down now. Yep. And they have a gay trans Mexican Frankenstein creature going to commit a crime. And they do they mention how he was on the Zoloft and all the other antidepressant medications?
Nope.
That even on the package tell you that suicidal thoughts and tendencies, which an event like this would be classified under as, is literally on the package as a symptom.
The fact is that trannies are known as being extremely violent because they're so unhappy with their existence that they actually
they're angry with themselves.
It happened in Australia a few years ago where literally this tranny walked into a fucking, I think you may have seen that, but walked into a variety store, a convenience store, and took an axe and started to literally chop people.
Oh, it's fucking disgusting. We've got this Spicky McWetback over here, this disgusting monster. That's not a human being. No regular human being wants to cut off their genitals and get praised for it.
Nope.
That's not how life works.
Nope.
If Dave, if I ever come to you and say, "Hey, Dave, I I really think I need to cut this left arm off. It's really, putting a hamper on my lifestyle. Please don't praise me. Take me to the fucking funny farm and we'll forget
But
that I
do you
ever
understand?
fucking existed and leave.
But Tex, do you understand that there are people out there like that actually say, "I feel
Yes.
that I was born disabled, so break my legs, so I'm not actually
Right.
able to walk, and I can use a fucking wheelchair for the rest of my life." There are people that sick. There literally are
Right.
people.
But do we praise them? No.
Well,
we get them the
hey,
mental health
we
that
don't
they
praise
fucking
them
need.
because we're not fucking degenerates. But who does? The media, fence sitters,
Right.
and others.
And we have these wetback fucks that come over here. They don't even know which bathroom to go to, but we praise them. And then when they go commit heinous crimes, we call it white supremacy behavior. How the fuck is this white supremacy? It's a fucking Mexican. I mean, how fucking blind, deaf, and dumb do you have to be to believe this shit? I mean, holy fuck. You've got people coming on here. When are we going to do something about? We got to take away the guns. Well, motherfucker, fucking cholesterol kills more people than guns do. Shut down the fucking McDonald's. I fucking dare you. I'm waiting. This is bullshit.
Blunt objects kill more people
Yes.
than fucking guns.
It's so stupid. Cars kill people every fucking day.
Yep.
Driving down the fucking highway. How many people die from drunk drivers? Do we put drunk drivers in prison for the rest of their lives? No.
Hold on.
Chances.
Do we sue car companies for the actions of the drunkards? No, but apparently there's been many people that have sued gun manufacturers for the actions of others. It's ludicrous. Anyone that believes this should be committed or just put feet first into a fucking, wood chipper or cinder block therapy.
Right.
But you don't get a right to fucking discuss
dumb.
this shit if you're too stupid to understand the basics.
I mean, it's just like Ron White, one of the greatest comedians ever. If I can blame guns for killing people, I can blame a pencil for misspelling my words. Because the sentiment could not be more right.
I love that you're saying that because I just switched to a new graphic that's on the screen, but there's another one that's going to be coming right after. I posted it on Twitter recently. I think you may have liked it and so forth. I do want people to look at this before I move on to what you're referring to.
Yes, please. No, I'll give them time to look that
awesome,
over.
But
this is a teachable moment here, people.
It is
Y'all
an
need to listen
absolutely
if you're
teachable
already on
moment.
board.
These two things are identical. They might not look the same, but literally they function identically.
Yeah.
So people who think a fucking
I own
22
both of those in multiple versions.
or a 223, like it's fucking pathetic that people would it's black or it's customized or it's got a fucking magazine as opposed to this particular magazine as opposed to a cylindrical magazine, which is typical in many rifles, right? I don't know if you've got a I can't remember the handle that fucking you can reload. What's it called? I'm a little drunk and stoned right now, but
I know what you're talking about. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it either. I do have one. I have one on a 12 gauge that I own, but that's the only thing that I have one of those.
Yeah, the point I'm just trying to make literally is just the fact that it doesn't matter what type of reloading system the firearm has. If it's still shooting the same type of ammunition, it could be black, and again, black guns matter. Or it could have fucking a magazine. It could have a rail with a fucking laser scope and telescope. That's fine. It doesn't change the fact that it's the same fucking firearm. And again, I'm going to put up the image here right now that I'm referring to. And I do love this image because it really just sort of highlights what exactly you just said. And it should be popping up in a moment here. But yeah, it again relates firearms, not guns, okay? You know what a gun is, assholes out there that don't know? A gun is basically something that resides on a fucking frigate or a battleship, okay? That's a gun.
Right.
A firearm could be anything. A sidearm typically is a pistol. But don't call them guns. Stop calling them guns because that's not what they are. But yeah, look at this. So I'm going to just read out this graphic here. Be me. It's showing the image of a AR-15, again, a semi-automatic weapon, which means every time you want a bullet to leave the barrel, you need to squeeze, not press, squeeze. Well, actually, it depends on who you talk to, but you need to.
Anybody worth their salt squeezes. It's tried and true method of a clean fire, and it helps cut down on
that is the way I
fires.
was trained. I do feel that's appropriate, but I've had people say press, and I feel dirty hearing that. But regardless,
Realistically, it's two different terms for the same action.
Yes, but one's dirty and one's not. That's the difference.
I
One's
agree
dirty is
completely.
one not.
100% agree.
Yeah, you absolutely know this. You're fucking Texan. It was born in your blood. Now, again, we got an image here. AR-15. Okay, great. Scary. It's black, by the way. Especially scary. Because liberals don't like anything that's black, unless there's their pets. And it says, "Be me, cause 37,000 deaths each year, cause an additional 2.35 million injuries, be the cause of nearly 1,600 children under age 13. Cost the U.S. $230.6 billion per year on average, of 820 per person." That's quite steep. Be the greatest annual cause of death of healthy U.S. citizens. Be an automobile. Picture unrelated. So again, scary black. Again, it's black, so you got to be scared. It's a black firearm. You got to be scared. Again, well, are you going to be less scared if it was like hot pink, like some of the girls like? I got no problem with girls fucking, the black, pink, and white camo. Hey, lady, if that's what you like, fucking awesome. As long as you can join me on the range,
each of my daughters
I'm
gun
happy.
like that. Yeah, I bought them was it their 10 or their 12 gauge? I can't remember, but it was that pink, like Realtree camouflage or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's just it's the same gun. It's the same one that I own.
I don't give a flying fuck it. There's a faggot
the
next to me, using that type of firearm. The fact is, you're exercising your Second Amendment right that doesn't get to be dictated by anybody. Good on you. I don't give a fuck what color your firearm is. You're here on the range experiencing God's right. Simple as that.
And that's the whole thing is, the story that has been attached of, your gun is now your dick because you don't have one. That's something some fucking liberal made up because there's some cuck boy that hadn't had a hard on since 95. That's all that is.
Actually, I love, you know what? This is why we're on the same page. This is why literally we are on the same fucking vibe here. The image that I just put up prior to you even saying exactly that proves my fucking point and proves your point. This motherfucking cuck piece of shit, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a fucking liberal, if you want to call him a journalist, that's generous. But the fact is, this guy went to a range and he said the following. What is it like to fire an AR-15? He wrote an op-ed. I think it was the New York Times. What is it like to fire an AR-15? It's horrifying, dangerous, and very loud. Personally, I get pissed off when a fucking dump truck is revving their engine up as they're trying to get first into second. It's like, shut the fuck up. So an AR-15 is going to fucking piss you off, you fucking puss. Also, he wears a small hat. Let's continue. He says again, listen to this. Again, this is a soy boy. And you guys all know this. The recoil bruised my shoulder. You know what? Fire a 30-aught sit. Tell me how badly that, hurts your shoulder. It's hurt me, but still fucking fun, dude. What are you, a fucking puss? So he says, the recoil bruised my shoulder. The brass shell casings disoriented me as they flew past my face. The smell of sulfur and destruction made me sick. The explosion, loud like a bomb, gave me a temporary case of PTSD. You know what? For that alone, I want to literally hurt you badly. There are people, I'm not even done reading what he said, but there are people who served in combat. People who have seen horrors that we could not even fucking imagine. And this fucking piece of shit wants to say this shit. I want to hurt him, and I want to hurt him bad. But let's continue. He says, for at least an hour after firing the gun, just a few times, I was anxious and irritable. Now, below that, what do you got? You had a girl that I believe was 9 years old when this picture was taken. You should have seen the videos.
Looks about right.
She was fucking amazing. The response that was added was, "Don't worry, sir. She'll keep you safe while you hide in your safe space, and recover from your temporary PTSD." Yeah. Look at how real men are raising their daughters, and you can see these ranges where they go in with a shotgun, AR-15, pistol, and they fucking shoot every target perfectly. And you think you're fucking joggers. You think you're fucking criminals. You're going to just waltz in to redneck territory and just take over like you did in the fucking city? You're dead. You're dead. The Civil War is already won, motherfuckers. You don't understand that yet. But you will.
As my brother likes to say, he always says, I'm from I wish a motherfucker would. Because he's just waiting for somebody to fucking pull this shit. It's so fucking stupid. You know, if your idea of intimidation is holding some Glock that you've never shot in your life sideways because it looks cool, and you think, oh, we're coming for you, white boy, blah blah, whatever. Please come find me. Number one, I would have sniped you out a mile before you could even know where my house is. You wouldn't get close enough to be anything. You are no threat.
But even if they do, that's where my fun comes into play. Is I like living in the woods. Again, people might scoff at this. Laugh at me all you want, people. That's fine. Okay, you can underestimate me. That's fine. But the thing is, though, in First Blood, when Troutman's telling them this guy will live off the land, and amazing. This guy will live off the land, and he's going to fucking give you trouble. That's me, okay? I yearn for that lifestyle, but I've got responsibilities for now. But trust me, if I'm ever pushed in that position, I will give you a war you won't believe. And
there is a big difference in gun owner, responsible gun owner, and douchebag that goes and kills a bunch of fucking kids because they're a tranny maker. What was the term for it? Spicky McWetback or some shit like that?
There we go. Spicky McWetback.
I can't even fucking remember. Either way, there's a difference in those three things. You have the gun owner who just goes and buys some kind of two-way T-shirt. He has a gun in his truck because he thinks it gets him pussy, but he hasn't fired it in a year and a half. Then you have the responsible gun owner, which is people like myself. You have people who have grown up with guns, who raised their children around guns. My children have guns in their room that I let them monitor because They are responsible. I have no worries, no concerns, no fears that they're going to do any kind of dumb shit because they know the repercussions because dad taught them properly. But, I'm scary white guy over here. I need to be feared. Whenever who's shooting up a fucking school, but a goddamn tranny wetback, spicky McWetback, fuck, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's your real boogeyman. While everybody's over here looking for Michael Myers to stab them, Freddy Krueger's knifing them in the back. They don't even see what's coming. They can't even tell.
Just a quick reference to the images there.
Please show that.
Well, I put the mass shooters of 2019 and 2021, but I'm quickly just putting in something that used to be very common, which was gun safety training in elementary schools.
Yes.
So you had these individuals that would go into schools, and even though there might be some people there, some kids there that had this training, they would actually show them how to do so. I've got more and more images of this, but this was a common thing back in the 50s and 60s. So for anyone to think, oh, firearms are bad, they don't deserve they shouldn't be in schools, you're a fucking faggot and a liberal fucking commie.
Whenever we were teenagers, I'm talking like 15, 16 years old, as soon as we were starting to get learner's permits to drive, during the summertime, we hauled hay to make money, right? And we would haul hay all day. We'd go sling however many bales we did. And then at night, we'd go snipe hunting, and of course, if you've ever been snipe hunting, you know the joke behind that. We would normally take somebody with us who had never been on a snipe hunt before, and we'd play a big joke on them. Or we'd go rabbit hunting or snake hunting. And all of us teenagers would be out there with loaded guns. And guess how many of us shot each other?
So scary. No. Oh my God, teenagers with firearms. How could that even be when so many teenagers fought in the Revolutionary War?
I'll even up the ante. We may or may not have had a little drinky poo that we snuck from our dad's, beer refrigerator.
My God.
With that.
I'm aghast.
Holy shit.
I mean, how the fuck did those in the Revolutionary War survive? How did those in the Civil War survive? Being underage and drinking with firearms. Oh, my God.
Well, if we're to think, if alcohol and guns is a bad mixture, what the fuck do you think antidepressants and firearms is a good combo for? Because if you go back,
I'll answer that question. I'll answer that question.
So many of these fuckers, you've got every kind of wetback nigger, spick, gay, faggot, tranny, fuck on that goddamn list. And every one of these sumbitches is garbage. They kill. There is nothing more precious than human life in itself. We can't create it. That comes from the good Lord above. And everyone on that list right there took it. They took it unjustifiably. I hope every one of them is sucking Hitler's cock in hell right now. Fuck them motherfuckers.
I lost my train of thought. Thanks.
I did too. I'm just fucking. I'm so fucking hot on this shit. It's so fucking ridiculous. Every news clip I see, they want to blame white fucking supremacy when it was some trainee wetback that did this shit. I go on Twitter and call this shit out, and my shit gets censored and pulled down when I'm telling the fucking truth.
Well, look at the image that I'm showing right now. Look at the image that I'm showing right now. There's just tons of white supremacists there. Tons of white supremacists.
Look at all that white supremacy. Look at all that white supremacy in there. They are really bad white supremacists whenever they're not even fucking the right color. Like, what the hell is wrong with them? Like, did they not get the memo at their Klan meeting that they went to?
At least do whiteface, At least do whiteface.
Right. At least go to Home Depot, hell, Walmart, get some white paint and fucking look the damn uniform part. This is bullshit. You want to sit here and blame gun owners and white supremacy for something that another race that didn't even know what gender they are did? This is ridiculous. The strange occurrences that keep happening from the last school fucking shooter. Well, oh, look, here's a gun that says nigger on it. Everybody read that. Hey, every TV camera, make sure and zoom in on the butt of this gun so you can see it real good. And then we have this going on. And what's the first thing that CNN pulls up? White supremacist tendencies.
Yep.
What the fuck does that even mean? Somebody legitimately explain to me what white supremacist tendencies are. You can't define that because it's not a fucking thing.
I do believe that at least it's keeping your pants up at around your waist level. So that would probably be like white supremacy.
It's so fucking ridiculous. It's, I'm tired of tippy-toeing around this bullshit. I'm tired of playing fucking nice. I'm tired of, political correctness is done. Fuck y'all. Anybody who wants to preach that shit, go jump in the fucking lake with concrete shoes, pal. Because you have hindered our society for the last fucking time. I'm sick of pretending you're whatever gender you want to be. I'm sick of you're pretending, I'm a unicorn. Fuck you. Go to hell. That's what I have to fucking say. I'm so sick of these strange occurrences happening in the fucking mass of people that, we have in this world. Fall for this, and every time it's a distractionary
every
measure,
time they're like,
fucks.
gun control. It's like,
Yes.
Okay, well, what about
Yes.
China, for example, where literally
Yes.
there's multiple instances of this, and there was massive stabbings. So at a train station, I believe, in Western China, literally this guy came out and just started stabbing people. He killed close to 20 people, I believe. But he didn't have any firearms there. He just had fucking a knife, a kitchen knife. Also, strange occurrences. Check out the graphic that's currently displayed.
Yeah.
Talk about
I
fucking
was having a
strange
conversation
occurrences.
with a guy at lunch today.
MK Ultra, bitches.
He was of the opposite persuasion of this side of the field. He said, I
didn't realize you associate with homosexuals.
Well, not that quite persuasion, but I really don't classify Democrats any different from homosexuals. I pretty much lump them in together. At
Hey,
this point.
they all support a groomer. They all support a groomer, so
Yes.
literally they
either way, they're a groomer, and they probably like dick in their ass. That's all I fucking
Indeed.
know. But either way, so I'm sitting there talking to this jackass, and it was a fast food restaurant that had the TV on, so this is why it was topical. And the guy said, well, I don't have any guns, but I don't see any reason why we can't do background checks. And whenever you go to buy a gun, why they don't run your identification. I said, so you've never bought a gun before? He goes, no, sir, I never would.
Well, then
so I said, so what if I said, if I were to tell you that anytime you go to buy a firearm, even in the state of Texas, it takes a minimum of 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes longer, for you to get ran through the system, and they will not sell you that gun without okaying and make sure you're not a felon, you haven't had any mental problems in your life.
There ain't no gun show loophole, assholes. You might think that,
Right.
but you'd be a faggot if you did, and you probably take it up the ass. There ain't no fucking gun hole loophole.
The only thing that would be close to a gun show loophole is you find some dirtbag from the trailer park that has a 12 gauge that he has.
Yeah,
sitting
you
on a
know
table
what?
and
You
he
can
tells-
fucking
he
go
tells
to
you.
some fucking jogger there in Chicago or Detroit and be like, yo,
Fix it to say, I will
I
drive
got
you to South
$200.
Dallas.
Give me a fucking piece. He'd be like, you got it.
I can drive
Boom,
you to South
done.
Dallas tonight and show you where some fucking drug dealer is on the corner for the right amount of money. He'll sell you a burner, which is basically a handgun that is not meant to last long and it can't be identified.
Yep.
That's basically what it is.
Oh,
And-
liberals don't know this shit. They don't know these fucking terms.
Well, goddamn. Go to fucking Chicago. Go to fucking New York. They've got the strictest gun laws in the country, and they're killing each other left and right. If, that old saying on the news, if it bleeds, it leads, right? They could do a news story every day, almost on the hour, just what's happening in Detroit right now.
Yep.
But we don't point out black on black crime
Nope.
because that doesn't fit the narrative.
Nope.
That doesn't get people scared.
Yep.
We're going to point out other stuff that we can blame on white people. To hell with what the blacks and the Mexicans are doing. This is ridiculous. These fucking sheep need to wake up or die and get out of my fucking way.
Now, have you
Because
seen?
I'm sick to death of this shit.
Have you seen the image that I've displayed here? This is the difference between Chicago and Houston regarding population, income,
Oh
number of African Americans, Hispanic, Asian, non-Hispanic whites, which is always a hilarious term to be used. And then, basically laws and crime
yeah.
statistics. And, what's that? Houston, Texas, despite the fact that it has more guns per capita, is still safer than Chicago, which
Yeah.
has extremely stringent anti-gun laws.
Right.
Anyone care to
Well-
explain that?
And that's what's so funny is Houston. If it weren't for Austin, Houston would be the most blue city in this state. That I believe they had I don't know if they still have the gay mayor or not, but I know they used to. But it is a very, very liberal fucking city. San Antonio, unfortunately, is not very far behind them. And we look at these places. When you look, obviously, I'm in the middle of nowhere purposefully because I fucking hate living by people. Like, I love my friends and my family, but fuck, leave me the fuck alone. Just give me space to let me be me. But you look at the city parts of this state where you go to Dallas. Dallas has like an invisible line. On the north side, you're either a millionaire or you're a businessman. You go to South Dallas, you're a nigger. And that's the God's honest fucking truth. There ain't no blacks from Dallas. You're a nigger. And don't let anybody tell you there is a fucking difference. I know many fine black folks that I call friend on a regular basis. But you go to them boys in South Dallas, that ain't nothing but ghetto fucking trash.
Well, don't you think it's a mentality?
Oh, it's disgusting. It is.
It's
Nigger
not,
is a mentality. It has nothing to
that's
do
what
with
I've always
black,
said.
white, brown. It can go to anybody.
I still
And the
say
fact
that I still say that George W. Bush is a nigger.
Yes.
Fucking war crime
he's a
motherfucker.
piece of shit. He's a warmonger piece of shit. He sucked Dick Cheney's dick for 8 fucking years.
Yep.
That's what he fucking did.
And I mean,
Dick Cheney's
even
no different than what
Kanye
we have
West
in Africa
says, George Bush doesn't care about black people. And guess what? He doesn't.
Right.
So he's a fucking
Hell,
nigger.
George Bush, I'm sure you saw the clip of George Bush talking about his senseless war in Iraq the other day.
Yep.
Whenever he was talking about the Ukraine
Oh shit, I was caught. I just fucking what a fucking moron.
I mean, come on. This is these people get up in front of a television camera. Oh, this is just horrible. We can't do this. But we're going to spend $50 trillion to fund a war that we shouldn't be on. While we're doing this, you're not allowed to have a border. You're not allowed to have guns. But we're going to go pay to defend them and go give them guns.
You know what's crazy?
Even though Texas has about 10,000 a day that flood into my home out of their godforsaken land that we separated ourselves from.
Yeah, and apparently
this is what we
owe them. It's not like, we gotta fucking control our own shit. No, it's like you owe us Americans. It's absolutely disgusting.
Y'all. We beat you in a fucking war. We took this to the victor go the spoils. Go make me a goddamn taco. Fuck off.
Again, why are they not fucking concentrating on the fact that, like, this is what all these, again, the inferior individuals on this planet seem to think, is that war, to the conqueror goes the spoils of war. So in North America, where you had degeneracy and slavery and human sacrifice prior to the Western man arriving there, they lost. It's as simple as that.
Right.
And to, claim sour grapes, sorry, you're no victim at all. You were decimating your own people, sacrificing them, living in total degeneracy, and what was provided to you. Again, all these people criticizing America. If you were in Iraq, if you were in Afghanistan, if you tried that shit as you try in America or Canada to criticize the government, you'd be executed. So these people are like, America isn't free, blacks are suppressed. Do you really want to see suppression of blacks? Because I know it's possible.
motherfucker.
So do you
please.
really want to push this shit? Because if you're speaking out this way when the majority is white, and in any other country, if you try to pull that shit, you'd be disappeared. Okay, literally, that's
Right.
what they call it, disappeared. So don't come to me with your uppity fucking nappy-haired attitude and claim this, thing that is obviously not true. And I've heard this term before in the past. I think I talked about it last episode, but this mentality that, if we, be happy that we only want reparations instead of revenge. Are you dumb, you fucking retards? Do you know how many people? Again, I went.
I got your fucking revenge and your reparations right here. You fucking big.
Well, first of all, the reparations was basically over 450,000 white men dying to free the slaves. There's your reparations right there. Now, anybody that says, be happy that we don't want revenge, really, with the number of white people that are in the country that are trained, that did, military service, and that have literally like 3 firearms per finger, okay, and toe. Like, are you really this fucking stupid? Because if you want revenge, all you're going to get is the decimation of your people, and you're going to wish you never even said that. It's as simple as that. This is not revenge. This is just basically saying, if you want to be tribalistic, guess what? The last time that whites became tribalistic, they took over Europe. They developed the atom bomb. They fucking decimated countries. And they instilled fear in the world. So if that's what you want to push, keep pushing, because we're at the end right now. Okay? We're literally at the point where this thing is just going to break apart. Unfortunately, and I know you're not, you don't really give too much of a fuck on this one, but the Union is about to fall. I would have wished that America would survive.
We're not far.
But
we're not far.
But the fact is,
truly
Texas.
Believe,
yeah. Go ahead.
I truly believe that there's if you pay, you know what's coming ahead of you in the future if you pay attention to your media.
Yeah.
What are they pushing in movies? What are they pushing in TV shows? Because guess what? Hollywood's part of the CIA. It's their fucking indoctrination division to get shit.
Mockingbird. I love that name too.
So when it happens, So and I love these movies, the Purge movies. I'm sure you've seen them or a trailer or something.
No, I didn't.
It's literally.
I chose not to watch them because I knew exactly what was being put in there. Just like you said, those that are paying attention don't even have to pay attention because they already know what's going to be presented. They already know the predictive programming, and we're not paying attention to that. Why? Because we're prepping. Because we're preparing.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. It's for the ones that haven't seen, it's like in the not too distant future of America. Basically, they're planning to they're the NFFA, the New Founding Fathers of America, is what the group is called, and it's a group of old scary looking white guys. Go figure. Right?
Oh, that's scary.
And they redefine the country and new documents and new everything, and they come up with Purge Night. Well, basically, it's for 12 straight hours, all crime is legal, except for attacking political figures over a certain level. I forget what the level is. And they're like 4 or 5 movies deep. They did a TV show for 2 seasons. And I've watched all this because I'm a fan of scary content. I like the horror genre.
You ever seen the show Revolution?
I did. Didn't that get canceled abruptly?
I think so, but dude, that is exactly what's planned. EMP, destruction of infrastructure, allow for a return to sort of like primitive lifestyle while the rest of the world sort of watches. That again, more predictive programming. Yeah,
it's all part of it. Hollywood, go back, I can't remember the name of the movie now. It had it had Matt Damon. It was about where like a bug gets released. It had Kate Winslet and all them in it. I don't know. Either way, whatever. Doesn't
Matt
fucking
Damon?
matter. But yeah, it was a movie Matt Damon did. It was about a pandemic that happens, and it was like a couple years before, the C-19 happened. Well, I don't want to get this fucking video flagged, but fuck it, who cares?
Contagion.
We've said
The movie is
else.
called. The movie's called Contagion. Came out in 2011.
Contagion. Yes, Contagion came out, and basically it's a worldwide. It starts with a bat interacting with a pig, and then the woman eats the pig, and then she goes home, and like the whole world gets it. It's a whole fucking thing. It's stupid. It's a Hollywood movie, but it is the exact plan of what happened during the COVID bullshit. And this, like I said, they laid, like you said, Project Mockingbird. They lay this shit out ahead of time to lay that seed in your brain to say, oh, this shit's going to go down. Look at another fucking show, and another show that I love, The Walking Dead. It is literally the breakdown of society. The first 10 minutes of the show is, normal everyday life. Rick is a sheriff. Then he gets shot. He wakes up 3 months later out of his coma. And there's a little girl laying on the ground that's half eaten trying to fucking attack him. And the zombies aren't the real part. It's the destruction of society that they're sitting here pushing. And each season they get a little bit more de-evolved and a little bit more and a little bit more. Till now they're basically plains people, just like in that show you were talking about, Revolution. All of this is done for a reason. All of this is it's so fucking ridiculous. Whenever a fucking tranny-ass wetback can go shoot up a fucking school full of innocent kids of his own people, innocent little Mexican children.
Yep.
Whether they were illegal, legal, that doesn't matter here.
Look, I just hold on.
Go ahead.
Ease off with the fucking steam there. You need to relax a bit. I understand your frustration. I want to explain the frustration to people. The frustration, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that people like me and Tex see this from a fucking one astronomical unit away. An astronomical unit is basically the distance between Earth and the sun. Well, the surface of Earth and the surface of the sun, not the center. So, as such, we see this literally light years almost away. I can understand where Tex is coming from. He's very frustrated, as am I, because this stuff should be plain as day. Now, for those that may have, drunk the Kool-Aid and you're listening to mainstream media, you're not reading articles that actually tell you the truth, or at least you're not making the effort to say, okay, I'll read CNN, but I'll also read what they say is evil, RT, or, this news or whatever, or Al Jazeera. Okay, so you're not doing that, people. You're basically saying, I'm going to only believe this, and Tex is crazy and stuff. Meanwhile, Tex is just showing the same sort of disagreement with this total ludicrousy, this total mental retardation, and again, it's frustrating. Obviously Tex is very animated tonight. I'm trying to hold myself in. I really am. I'm trying to be the voice of reason here on the show. But
one of us needs to be here.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm almost there, but I'm trying. But the fact is, though, it's ridiculous for people to even, start with this when it's so easy to disprove. Also, before you continue, check out the graphic that I just put on there. So we've got per capita gun ownership, and then we've got international homicide rate per 100,000 people. So we take a look at America, which has the most gun ownership, and look how little their gun crime is compared to, say, a piece of shit like El Salvador, Honduras, Venezuela, South Africa, or Colombia, where there's practically no gun ownership and massive amounts of homicide due to guns.
Let me ask you this, Dave. How well did prohibition work for alcohol?
The same way that the fucking drug war worked for fucking Nixon.
So you're telling me if we're and we're going to look at this in terms of baseball here. Okay, so 3 strikes and you're out. So prohibition, strike one. The war on drugs, strike two. And then now we have gun laws, which have already been in place for years. We don't need any more laws, but they still fail. Why? Because ultimately criminals are going to do whatever they want. They don't say, oh, well, my state says I can't have a blah, blah, blah. So here you go, Mr. Policeman. Let me just turn this into you because I'm not allowed to have it anymore.
Of course.
What do? They take it home and they scratch the serial number off.
Yep.
And they go hide it under their bed.
Yep.
And then when they do commit a crime with it, we can't track it anymore.
Well, hold on. Their mama comes out and says, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. And, they hide this information from the cops.
After she gets back from her parole meeting, and she says whatever she fucking says.
I always say the same thing. Where's the dad? Where's the father?
Right. We don't have a gun problem in this country, folks. We have a mental illness problem. The nuclear family was destroyed generations ago. Hell, you can go back to the fucking hippie bullshit in the 60s and see how they destroyed the nuclear family and look at where we are now.
Actually, I will say that the I can't remember the exact law that LBJ signed in 64. I think it was the Immigration Act, but hold on. There was the Civil Rights Act as well. Civil rights, great. You know what? That introduced? Literally a welfare system where women could literally just have kids, not have a father that was involved in the child's life, but force him into indebtitude, okay?
Yeah.
Indentured servant to pay for supplying his kids with, money. Well, supplying the mother with money, who might not even spend it on the kids, might just fucking, and we've seen this, spend it on herself, going to the spa and all that, yet neglecting the kids. And, her body, her choice, right? So her body, her choice to exploit these kids. So not only that, exploiting the husband who has to deal with a gynocentric court system, which only favors the woman because the man is always bad. But now the government is more than willing to supplement you. It doesn't matter if you're a husband or not, that you're trying to make your life better. No, you want to be a fucking, sucking on the teat of the government? No problem. Keep having kids with all these different random people. We'll continue to supplement you. The more kids you got, the more money we'll fucking pay you. And, just keep voting for us, Democrats. Thank you.
Well, like I said, we touched on it last week, but it's worth bringing up again. LBJ himself said, I'll have these niggers voting Democrat for the next,
I'm glad you bring that up because I've got that graphic almost ready.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me find it here so people can actually see the quote. There's actually two quotes that I wanted to show people because there was two things that he actually said that, here's the first one here, and I'm going to read it for people. These Negroes, they're getting uppity these days, and that's a problem for us since they've got something. They've got something now. Hold on. God damn it, I got something blocking this. Okay. I'll start it again. Everyone, obviously wants to hear me say Negroes once more. So these Negroes, they're getting pretty uppity these days, and that's a problem for us since they've got something now they've never had before. The political pull, okay, again, the political pull to back up their uppityness. That's an interesting term. Now, we've got to do something about this. We've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference. And then the line after this is, I'll have those niggers voting Democrats for the next 200 years. These are quotes to Lyndon Baines Johnson. First, an individual who was directly, let me say that again, directly responsible for the assassination
Yes, he
of
was.
John F. Kennedy. He was also involved in the faking of the moon landing and also the extermination of massive life in Vietnam when Kennedy wanted to wrap that shit up and say, nope, we're not going to get involved in this shit. It's not our fight. Let's get the fuck out. So this piece of fucking shit, and I think he's Texan,
it's
isn't
just
he?
like, yes, unfortunately, LBJ is Texan. He's not one that we like to claim too well, but he is one of our ilk. So.
Fucking
But
piece
it's just
of shit.
it's just like Drew says right here in the chat. Things were really tense during the Summer of Love, as well as Vietnam peaking. You know, you go back to that era in this country, it was just as volatile as it is now, but in many different ways. It was. I can't help but look at that time as the beginning of the end for this country, because we had so many things get installed that were meant to control.
There was supposed to be New Frontier. Kennedy inspired people to fucking invest in America, to learn, to like all these kids to say science is upon us. Like this is a new frontier. Right. Let's get into this. Let's make America fucking great. He's probably the first to say make America great. Now look at this graphic that I've just put.
I wonder what color his hat was.
Well, we can't listen to anybody now because they'll change history at any point to fucking, fill this in. But there's this image here, and it's Lyndon B. Johnson saying this, Baines Johnson saying this. He says, I'll tell you what's at the bottom of it. If you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll even empty his pockets for you. This piece of shit. And eventually, Drew, who might get his ass into gear eventually, although he is quite slow, must be that big mongoloid head. But eventually we're supposed to be doing a video on the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And I've got a lot of information on that. In fact, I've worked, let's say this, I don't want to reveal too much, but I've worked with people who have done massive investigations. I've done interviews with them. Interviews, because I've sworn to secrecy, will never be revealed. And I know a lot more than some people seem to think, but more importantly is that all I got to do is just discuss what's already available, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, Drew will get his act into gear, and we'll be able to finally do this fucking video. And in fact, maybe you need to be there too, Tex. I'm not demanding that of Drew, but
be honored to.
Being a Texan at least, you probably visited Daly Plaza and all that.
I have been to the Grassy Knoll. I've been all through that many times. I have studied this stuff. I have my own theories about the who's, the hows, and the whys.
Yeah, okay, relax. It looks like maybe Drew might end up taking you over me to fucking do a show. So, relax, okay?
Nah, we'll figure it all out whenever the gatekeeper calls. I'm sure his ring will be answered, so we'll figure it out. It's no big deal.
All right. So how do you want to continue with this? Because we've gone a lot of places, but we're still talking about the bullshit of gun control.
I think we need to pinpoint. I feel it's important to pinpoint the most important thing about this, and for me, that is two things.
What?
The drugs that this person was on, the mental health issues that this person had, and the fact. And then once we've covered that, we need to focus strictly about the idiocy of a Trini Mexican who's the white supremacist and the idiocracy behind it that leads to that.
I want to address one thing first before you go into that, because I was listening
Sure.
to talk radio today, and I was absolutely infuriated. I can't remember the guy's name. I'm gonna fucking start to call this guy out on my streams and shit. This guy, like I said earlier, he wears a small hat, and he's a piece of shit. And
Small hats are attached to everything, by the way.
yes,
Just want
but
to throw that out.
unless it's pro-Israel, and that's a different story. But this guy is talking about shit, and he has no knowledge about this. And again, we're talking about AR-15s that were supposedly used in this. We still haven't gotten full confirmation. It's very difficult,
Right.
especially when they're trying to push these narratives. And anybody that says that the government isn't going after your guns, have you listened to Biden even before he ran? He was basically saying that. So anyone, including this piece of shit Canadian journalist, small hat motherfucker, basically is sort of acknowledging the fact that, they are going for the guns. And now in Canada, despite the fact there haven't been any mass shootings as of late, they're talking about a handgun ban. But in
Because that's so
Texas,
important.
but well, hold on. But more importantly, is that in Texas, accordingly to the story, this individual brought 2 AR-15s.
Right.
What does that have to do with a handgun? Why do you think that Canada needs a handgun ban? Why do you want to deprive all the Olympic stars, okay, because there are many, who have won competitions, gold, silvers, bronze, by doing competitive shooting? Or the individuals that do inter-provincial or national type competitions shooting handguns, why would you take that away? So that's being discussed now in Canada after something that happened in America. If anybody, and again, this little small hat there said, "Oh, the Second Amendment is not under attack." Well, Second Amendment basically just is a broad statement for saying, ownership of firearms to be able to be a perfect human. I mean, defense, practice, plink shooting, whatever, hunting, whatever the fuck it is. It's nobody's business what you do with your firearm. But the fact is,
Right.
it's there. And this guy is criticizing it and saying, well, why do you need this and so forth? And it's so aggravating, that I have to hear this shit here in Canada. Not only knowing what America has to go through, but more importantly, I know that these individuals who call themselves journalists have never done the research I've done into reading legal material on America, and they have no knowledge about the Second Amendment. This guy was like going on and on about like, oh well, Governor Abbott, I believe is your governor, right?
Governor Abbott.
Oh well, he thinks that the Second Amendment is under attack, but not kids. This is the type of fucking talking points that they're doing here in Canada. And they take this, what's going on in America, no fucking, like mass shootings here in Canada. What goes on? They take this as an opportunity, as always, to start pushing gun control in Canada. Despite the fact that we're Olympic champions, some of the best snipers, military snipers, are from Canada. Before I believe an American beat them, the longest shot I think was 3 miles, motherfucker. 3 miles. A Canadian made a fucking shot with a fucking. It was in Afghanistan, and I think I talked about it earlier. But literally goes through 3 guys, went through 3 people's heads. They were perfectly aligned. He took the shot. Boom.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but basically, you're gonna just take that away. It's. I'm gonna shut up for a second because look, I know that you're frustrated, but dude, I'm Canadian. I don't think you can even understand the
I have a very
insanity
simple
here.
solution to this. If
Invade
you want to
Canada!
protect school-
Invade Canada! Annex
Well,
us!
So that's a whole different strategy. But when it comes to protecting our school children, what does every politician push? We take care of our soldiers. We care about our soldiers, everything else, right?
Is that why there's so many
did
homeless?
did we not just spend $40 billion sending it over to Ukraine for something we shouldn't even be involved in? Why don't we take that $40 billion and train the soldiers when they come home? Give them a job. Have an armed soldier at every school across this country. Pay them a decent wage. Give them something. They get to continue to defend their home country, but they get to go home at the end of the day. We're appreciating them. Pay them a big salary. You know what I'm saying? Do something of the sort. Take care of our soldiers. We're protecting our kids. Well, why don't we tighten up security on schools so idiots like this, some cross-dressing weirdo, can't just go in there with an AR-15, which is not an assault rifle, by the way. Anybody who says assault rifle, don't listen to that person. They're stupid. It stands for Armalite.
You know what? I can take a fucking, and people made fun of me in the past. I don't know if you know about this. I'll get to the donation in a second. Just bear with me here. Thank you. But people made fun of me back when I was working with Joe Cronin, where I literally said I can take a fucking bass, a dead bass, and literally beat you, blunt force trauma, and kill you. Oh, well, you can't kill people with a fish. You can't. The most amount of people that die, every year in America is due to blunt force trauma. Could be fucking a bat.
Right.
Could be fucking their head hitting the concrete. Could be a fist to their face. But that's where it's coming from. So when I raise this point, because again, I try to do things intellectually, and I'm sure that even you can understand this. Well, not even you. I'm not trying to insult you, but like you can understand this, and yet other people can't. But like, dude, to go to the extreme, and you would know this. In fact, being a hunter and a fisherman, but again, you can kill somebody literally with a fucking fish. You can literally beat them to death with a fucking fish. And when I raise that point to try to show the extreme of it, oh, Dave, you're a fucking retard. You're retarded. But retards, don't you look at the stats about blunt force trauma deaths every year? You don't? Well, I'm sorry, but that's not my fucking problem.
Assault is not the first name of a gun. It's a verb. It's something that you do.
Yes.
Okay, in my hand is the charging case for my earbuds. If I shove this down your throat and make you swallow it till you choke to death, does that make these assault earbuds? Do I need a identification card to carry these things around? Because guess what? I promise you, you get me mad enough and I pin you to the ground, I'm gonna make you swallow these whole. And I'm going to make you do it sideways so it really hurts.
God damn right. Now, let's recognize the donation. He is currently the FMN Nation champion. That is still disputed. We know that I'm the real world champion. Woo! But we gotta show respect where respect is due.
Yes, sir.
And this donation obviously comes from the man known as Drew, the current, for now, FMN champion. What does he say? He says, please address what I said about the difference between constant and variable in the chat. Very simple concept that really busts the liberals' arguments in simple words.
Oh, now, here it is. I got it.
Do you have that? Because I don't.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now.
I missed
From
that.
Gatekeeper Drew, he says, I made this point earlier on Twitter. You got to find the variable. The right to bear arms has been around for nearly 250 years. That's a constant. Just like in science, you follow the variable. Then he says the variable is the handling of mental illness and the issuing of unnecessary drugs. And that leads right into my first point that I wanted to talk about.
Excellent.
Drew, I swear to God, sometimes I think you're brilliant. Not all the time, just sometimes. Every once in a while. But, it's all good. But when you look at the, sorry, I had to get my little shot.
That's good though. No, hey, jabs are always. Just slip the jab, Rock. Slip the jab. Slip the jab, Rock.
So,
Yeah,
when
you're
you look at
lightning.
all of these shooters, all of these people who do these things, they are antidepressant filled, basically drug dispensers. They are so filled with God knows what that they didn't need because mommy and daddy thought they couldn't pay attention in school or they were sad and we want to make them smile. So we're going to make them drugged up zombies, even though it says on the packaging, this has suicidal tendencies, which I covered in the beginning of this show, which something like this, the activity
I'll take 4 dozen.
did, right.
Mom, hold on.
These drugs put you in a mental state of
mother's
whacked outness where
mother's little pills.
It's horrible.
What was it? What was
Yes.
the Rolling Stones song? Mother's Little Pills, or oh man, I can't remember.
The only song I can think of is "Jagged Little Pill" by Alanis Morissette. It's the only one I can think
quite
of.
homosexual and gay, but that's certainly not what I'm referring to here. But
yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, well,
I don't know. Either way, I don't like dead air, so I'll just keep moving forward.
keep going.
But we live in a society of, oh, Johnny and Susie's not doing right. Here's a pill. Just put them on this one. And whenever they're whacked out and they're seeing purple people eaters, you give them these 3 other ones to even them out, even though they're never right again.
Oh, the song's called Mother's Little Helper. Mother's Little Helper.
A personal story from my past. One of my best friends in high school, his father passed away our sophomore year. He was adopted by this kid. And his mom was, needless to say, a little bit whacked out of the gourd. So she thought my buddy Gary was messed up as well. So, and prior to this, he was a normal kid. We'd watch movies together. We'd hang out. We'd go do stuff, like teenage boys do. And after his father passed away, he was obviously sad, but processing until she started shoving pills down his throat. And then once that started, he was never my friend again. Our whole senior year, I don't think we spoke more than 2 or 3 times because he was a zombie. He got very dark. Even in his eyes, you could see where the light used to be, there was a blackness almost within his soul because the medicine they had him all completely changed him. And probably 2 years after being out of high school, we got back in touch. And I saw him for about a week or 2, and then he ended up hanging himself because of everything that he had done because of those drugs. It is a miracle that he didn't get a gun and go shoot up like this freaking trainee monster here did, because it's the same kind of stuff. We do not have a gun problem. We have an issue with mental health, shoving pills down our kids' throats whenever they might just need a little bit more love and attention and parenting. But we don't have, like I said earlier, that nuclear family to cover these things. This is our problem. Not that thing that goes pew pew. It's that thing that takes care of you in the middle of the night when you're scared. A mom and a dad, both, not just one.
And more importantly is that people need to understand is that neither Tex nor us will hesitate, nor will we have any moral reprehension to defending what we value. So you want to push it, push it. But literally, we'll stack your bodies.
Come into one of these, yeah.
It's literally it's like Gran Torino, the movie. I'll stack your bodies, and I'll sleep well tonight. It's as simple as that.
Yes.
I have no, and again, people have said in the past, Dave Rose, cinderblock therapy. No, douchebags. I take great pleasure in knowing that you are truly the faggots that you are. And if you ever were to try anything, not only would I put you down very easily at 30 yards, at least, I'm going to definitely stack your bodies. But
you
no,
know,
that makes us
what
evil, right,
somebody
Tex? That makes
says.
us evil to not
Uh-huh.
only defend
Oh, 100%.
ourselves
We're
and
in the
show
worst.
our God-given
Well,
right, but to literally use the bodies of our enemies to make walls.
I will make. I will go full Ed Gein and make a house out of my enemies and use them as cordwood to heat that home. And guess what? I'm going to enjoy every minute of living in that house. I'm not
Well,
going to feel bad about it.
I know a few hog farmers. Hogs are great for consuming just about
I
anything, but
got pigs.
more
I got
importantly,
pigs out in the back.
well, that's the best part is
No
that
problem.
bones make a great fertilizer. Pigs are
Yes.
pigs will consume anything. So it's very easy to
Well,
resolve these matters and utilize what's consumed to make your farm a little better.
see, I almost hope and pray that we get somebody from a different opinion to come into one of these shows
Good luck.
for just the mental jousting session. Because this YouTube show is not like any other that you're going to find. As you've already heard, if you've been for the last almost 2 hours, we don't have gloves on here. We're going to say whatever we want, and it's up to you to deal with it. We know we're right. We have facts to back up that we are right. And you're going to have to be smarter than Dave Rose or I. And I don't think you've got that capability.
No.
So,
That's
anybody listening that might be of a different opinion, we will welcome you cordially. We're not going to shit talk you and demean you. I would love to have the debate. I will have the debate.
Again, call in.
The
Skype lines are open.
Yes.
If you
Call
want to
in now.
debate against me or Tex, if you want to have words, if you
Yes.
disagree, ain't nothing stopping you.
Oh, no, it's like Drew says right here in the chat. He says, I've tried so hard to get the other opinion. Rarely does someone call in, though. See, that's the sad part.
Yep.
These people will jump on Twitter and they'll be real big and brave and spout off whatever ideas that CNN gave them because they're not capable of independent thought. They can't have a live debate. I have no notes in front of me. I have no study material.
Neither do I.
This is stuff I've gone over, I've learned, and I know I have proven to be true from the facts presented. Not what CNN and NBC told me, but what life showed me to be true, not some headline. So, like I said, it's probably never going to happen because, Drew's been trying for a long time. But I'm up for a debate anytime, anywhere. You can hit me up on Twitter at TX Horror Fest any time of day. If I don't respond immediately, I will get back to you. And guess what? We might just put you on a show to have that debate.
Yeah, but let's just be honest here. This is clearly the OK Corral. We got Tex.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here just observing, like the cowardly mayor that was displayed in Tombstone, which wasn't factually correct, but still a fucking awesome movie. And Wyatt Earp also it starred Kevin Costner, not as good as Tombstone. Still, again, based on the same movie, and as Hollywood does, they released it, around the same time. Again, Wyatt Earp wasn't a bad movie, but Tombstone was fucking brilliant. So again, I will observe, and I'll let you walk the OK Corral with fucking Tex if you want. You want to call in right now? You want to debate Tex?
Jump in.
I'll shut the fuck up, mute myself, and let you guys go at it. You got an argument? You got a dispute? Show it. You got the guts? As opposed to making a video tomorrow? Call in now.
Yeah. Don't make some drama nonsense about me. If you want to talk to me, I'm very easily accessible to get a hold of. I'm not hiding. I will argue, debate. We don't have to agree to have a good debate. Hell, we might even learn something from one another. Those are the best kind of back and forth. I've done that with Cora over on Drew's show. I love Cora. I think she's great. Me and her are very, very different politically, but I respect her for every opinion that she's ever had.
Quite different.
Huh?
I'm very different from Cora's political.
Oh, 100%.
Yes,
Right.
I'm at your stance because it's the total opposite of what she believes. But
Yeah.
again,
It's
I'm perfectly fine with people saying I don't agree with you. Oh, guess what? The
right.
world hasn't ended. Oh my God.
Right.
Oh my God. We can continue to discuss things like normal human beings. We don't get
Right.
emotionally involved like Seaman and other people. Oh my
Well,
God. Yeah.
I, I am all for a intellectual debate of actual ideas, not political viewpoints of this is what I learned on CNN. Come at me with something real and we can debate it. Don't come at me with headlines from your, hypocritical garbage that you read through to get your nonsense to post on Twitter to get your virtue signals in. I ain't here to virtue signal. I'm here to tell the truth. We did this hard right show for a reason because there was no other show on YouTube that
Correct.
was willing to go gloves off, tell the truth, and talk about the hard questions. This is what this is for.
And none of
You
us,
know,
neither of us is even holding back. We're just speaking the truth. In
no,
other shows, you got to watch out. Oh, striking this. We at this point, neither of us give a fuck. We're telling you the truth,
cancel.
whether or not
Yeah,
YouTube likes it. Simple as that.
right. You can pull us down. You can do whatever. You can do
Strike me
whatever you need to
down,
do.
and I will become even stronger than you can imagine.
Could you imagine me as a martyr? As, as outlandish as I already am, go ahead and put me at martyr status. I'll become something you can't even handle at that point. Please, you'd only be doing me a favor. It's so ridiculous. It is what it is. I think we've covered this shooting topic. I mean, we could go on about this for hours, but if we were to boil this down, it's obviously a strange occurrence. It's funny how this happens a week and a half after the last one,
Yep.
where the last one it was a white guy talking about niggers. Now it's a tranny Mexican male that went after with white supremacist tendencies.
Oh, by the way,
But we're
the
not
the
going to.
one before this one was active on the internet as a ultra leftist, supported
Right.
leftist beliefs. So yeah, you can't claim that he's a white supremacist when literally he was supporting absolute socialistic views. So
Right.
you can't just
And let's
fucking
also not
ignore that.
forget, I find it funny that we've had two shootings right after the bill about proposing to take down Roe v. Wade
Oh, that's
leaks
true.
out allegedly. I kind of find that how the timing happens to, lay out where you have two strange occurrences pop up back to back. So nobody's talking about COVID, Roe v. Wade, or any other
Or
debacle
Ukraine.
that's blown
No,
up,
yep.
or Ukraine that has blown up in the Democrats'
Ignore the
face
80
because it's
billion
an
that's been
election
sent
year.
to them. Yeah.
Right. How borders and gun rights matter in Ukraine, but not here in the good old U.S. of A. We can't talk about that. We can't show that. We're just going to keep you distracted, and we're going to throw whatever we have to in front of you to keep you on whichever topic is trending on Twitter that week, so everybody virtue signals about it to make themselves feel good. We don't virtue signal here. We take a hard right for a reason, and we're going to tell you the truth.
Joey,
And we're not some cut, rhinos or whatever this nonsense is. We're the real deal.
Joey Z in the chat says a great point. Since it's not a white guy, the coverage has been totally different from the Buffalo one. Exactly. And you know what we're going to always find? MK Ultra fingerprints.
Yep.
Individuals that are mentally ill that have been, again, seen psychiatrists that supposedly were helping them out, giving them drugs. And, well, that seems to be the common occurrence with all these MK Ultra shooters, that they are instilled with a sort of mentality through the brainwashing chemicals and pharmaceuticals that they're given. And then you have them activated when they're needed. So when there's a need for a political distraction, for basically people to stop paying attention to the fact that $80 billion
Yeah.
has already been given to Ukraine. Canada has depleted their grenade launcher surplus by sending it all to Ukraine. This is the perfect opportunity for yet another distraction. Again, so soon after the previous one, people wake the flying fuck up. Wake up. It's clear as day,
Well,
and it's not difficult to understand.
the wokeness won't allow them to wake up because they already know everything they need to because they get it fed to them through their little headlines.
Well, then maybe a
Twitter
cinder
posts.
block might wake them up.
I would be happy. I would curb stomp, cinder block, 2x4, whatever we got to do to fix this problem. Because I fear the future of this country. If
There is no
obviously
future,
not
dude. Unfortunately, there is no future. I want America to remain, contiguous, but it looks like it's basically going to balkanize and compartmentalize. So Texas is going to get to the point where it's like, shit, we can't remain part of this union. This is going crazy.
It's gonna happen.
So they're going to separate.
Yeah.
There's going to be like Montana, or parts of Oregon, because it's the left coast that really is shit. Most of California doesn't want to be part of California. They want to secede. So you're going to start, look, shit hits the fan. You're going to start to see a lot of states that are going to either declare independence or declare a confederacy with another state. Places like New Hampshire, Massachusetts, other places that have this whole, the Confederacy. Like, I can't remember the exact name of their state. They have the ability, to separate. Don't think for a second that Texas might not associate with not France. What the fuck am I talking about? Florida, and create a union in that way. They both agree with the same sort of thing. They can still be independent, but they can complete a confederacy where they both basically are allies and are part of the same, union. So,
I love that.
Like the point that I'm trying to make is that, fuck around, find out. Literally, that's the point. Fuck around and find out. If you really want to see how well you can handle life without Texas as part of the union, keep doing your shit, motherfuckers, and we'll see how well you fucking fare.
Texas at this where we are, because number one, don't believe the power grid in Texas is failing. Yeah, that's worse shit.
Because you got to support these other motherfuckers. If Texas needs to support themselves, they'd have a surplus and they'd be settling every thing to everyone else.
The only, like, all the times you saw areas with, the lights have been off for 3 days. Yeah, that's in ghetto trash neighborhoods full of garbage. That's not in any prominent, decent neighborhood. Those areas have more problems than we can fix, so you might as well just move on. What we have right now, it's a very one-sided relationship. America needs Texas more than Texas needs America.
Yep.
This is what this is. Roughly, if Texas were to secede at this point in time, we would basically be Australia.
And you'd cripple America.
Somewhat equivalent. Oh, yeah. If you realize the beef industry America wouldn't have it. If Texas stopped sending it, it'd be done.
Don't forget the fishing industry, because they control a big portion of the fucking coast.
Just on the Texas portion of the Gulf Coast, you get oil, you get fish, you get so many things. The economy down here could survive on its own. It would have no issues. It would be rough in the beginning, but once the kinks were figured out, there would be no problem. Now, how that all works out, who keeps what, it's going to be it's not going to be a peaceful separation. Let's not fool ourselves. But from the evidence that I've seen, it sounds technically possible. like it's doable. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things. It's political. The political structure of this country, it will never be fixed. You're never going to fix the politics. You're never going to fix racism. You're never going to come to a middle ground on, rights of
Uh,
abortion. Who has
that
this? Who has that?
I have to disagree. Up to
Now,
1917,
so,
things were a lot better. There was no income tax, so Americans got to keep 100% of their income tax. But then the Federal Reserve came into play. That is the key here. Usury, which is declared as sinful and wrong
yes,
in actual
yes.
scripture, which the small hats don't seem to have a problem with. That's evil.
Oh no, that they thrive on it. What are you talking about?
But it's evil, and we know it. And people can.
100%.
And I do find it funny is that the Muslims do not believe in usury, and when they're in the West, they can establish banks which do not provide that sort of interest rate and so forth, and that allows for Muslims and Muslims only to build their own business. So,
Yep.
yeah, that's Sharia law operating here in North America. Great, absolutely great.
When you boil it down, what you're seeing with all of these strange occurrences, all of the things that we're experiencing for generations and generations. If you go back and look, if we started out on the mountaintop, which is what we used to be in this country, you could have the husband of the house working, and his wife could stay home and raise the kids. And the kids normally would turn out to be decent human beings. If that was our highest that we've ever been, we're not even on that mountain anymore. We're in the valley next to it. Now, if you have a two-parent household, both of them are working. One of them might be working even more than one job. Nobody's there for the kids. We set our kids down in front of the TV. We let the TV raise our children. When they don't act right, we don't teach them to be decent citizens. We stick them on a pill and then look at what it ends up happening. You get some trainee Mexican weirdo that goes and shoots up a school full of innocent children. Whether those kids were here legally, illegally, that doesn't matter. That's not the important issue here. That's a conversation for a whole other day. The bottom line is, like I said earlier, life is the most important thing. It is God's gift to us. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be here. And when you try to kill it like this, whether it's in the womb with abortion or it's some wacko going into a school with an AR-15, allegedly, if that's even their real gun,
Yeah,
it's killing a life, is what it is. It's the degradation of society. It's the degradation of Western culture, which we talked about on last week's episode that we went on about, that made the world great, that made it what it is everywhere. And now we are to a point where people don't even know which bathroom to go to, but yet we listen to them.
No, they know. They know exactly. They know exactly what bathroom to go to. What you're seeing is basically the predators going to the bathroom that they know that they can utilize for their predatory actions.
100%. It's disgusting. It's the degradation of our society, of our culture, of everything that made this country great. And I'm not talking, and I'm not wearing some red cap with a stupid saying on it. I'm talking the real thing.
Well, you know what? People can judge you all they want about your accent and this and that. Okay, fine. Well, how about Dave Rose? Somebody who speaks 3 different languages, understands 5, and can make you look like a fool. The fact is that what Tex is saying is absolutely true. I have the evidence to back it up, and it's certainly easy to do so, even if you just do the research on your own. But it's totally clear if you actually pay attention.
Right. Well, there's a reason Dave Rose and I came together on this is, and I won't go into all of them, But, it's like we said last week. When we're often on Drew's channel, if you're not subscribed to his, please, click right there on his link in the chat. Often we would find ourselves hitting on things that, I mean, it seemed like we were in kind of a mind lane, kind of synced up. And you even start here tonight. I would be talking about something before while he was literally posting the picture, and we're not looking at each other.
Yep.
We didn't rehearse any of this. We planned none of this. None of it. We don't have to because we've lived this. We've studied it. We know these things. We can debate anybody on just about anything when it comes to this kind of stuff because we're common sense people that can put 2 and 2 together and get 4, not elephant, because that's what you libtards do. So bottom line is, because Drew commented here in the chat, this show is going to cause Dave to not get monetized when he hits 1,000 subs. I don't think Dave's worried about that with this channel.
I'm not monetized and haven't ever been.
There you go.
But that's just a reminder, though, that you can easily donate to me at on PayPal, d.r.b@live.ca. So feel free to donate to me. Please. I do appreciate all donations.
Everybody go donate. Send your funds however they want you to send them there. Obviously, we're here to enlighten, but we're also here to entertain
and educate.
Nobody really likes to work for free. So, if you have to give, it would be very much appreciated. So please do as you see fit.
More importantly, people need to, look into themselves. Am I providing content that's enjoyable? Is text providing content that's enjoyable?
Of course.
Are we doing something that you appreciate? Well, if you agree with that and you're sticking with us, watching us, well, and you have the ability to donate because, times are tough. It's hard times. I know hard times, brother. And you can do that. So there you go.
Territory now.
That's right.
So
continue. You can continue with what you were saying there.
It's interesting to see how things fall into place as we go. And, I like doing this kind of stuff because otherwise I'm just saying all this to myself in my own brain, driving myself crazy. So that tells me I need to get my uncensored knowledge out there because I've got the balls big enough to say these things where somebody else may not. So the one and only reason why I agreed to do this was because it is time for the decent people in this country to wake up, stand up, start telling the truth, and quit being afraid of it. Let the truth have its day.
I'm glad you brought that up. Stop being afraid. That's what the government has been trying to do. These elites have been trying to do for the last 2 years incessantly, although it's obviously happened for much longer. But with all this bullshit that we've had to endure for the last 4 years, it should be clear as day to everyone. Fear is how they empower themselves. And what you need to understand is that if you fall into line and believe what they're saying, you're giving power to them. Never fear. Don't want to be an atheist, don't want to believe in God? Fine. Believe in humanity. Believe in good. Okay? And believe that these motherfuckers will not win because the human spirit is indomitable. Okay? You cannot defeat the human spirit. Orwell even talked about this with his 1984. Winston, basically, he knows what he's part of, but he doesn't want to be part of it. There's all these other stories, all these other people. And you know what? Forget about fucking fiction. Let's talk about fact. Let's talk about all these people in North Korea, in China, in fucking Iran, in Iraq, in Saudi Arabia, who have spoken out and fought knowing that inevitably they may just be killed. But they had the guts to stand up and do what was right. And that is something that a lot of people just don't seem to understand, that if you truly value duty, even if it is, you know, facing an inevitable end, that you've done right. Please continue.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's, I've gotten to meet Alex Jones. I've met him in real life. I've met him in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, really?
We went, yes, when a couple of years ago he was having a gun rally down at the Alamo, and I went down there to it. And afterwards, I was at a Mexican restaurant just right around that area, and he happens to walk in with his crew, and I got to sit down and talk with him for a minute. Wasn't 5-10 minutes, whatever, but it meant a lot to me. I'm an InfoWars guy. I've always been that way. I still watch daily, and you know what he has done really inspired me to get out and do things like this. That's why I've done Drew's show. I still like doing help. Drew and I have our own show off the reels on his Patreon for $1. You can hear me talking this passionately about horror movies. So no politics over there, just the fun stuff. So cheap plug for the night. But it's important for our voices to be heard. And how many people currently, we have 19 people watching. 19 of you out there. Some of you are commenting, some of you aren't. I appreciate every one of you here. If I can implore you to do anything, it's get your truth out there. Stop being silent and start telling the truth. If one person hears you or a million, that doesn't matter. Get your words out. The right people will respond. You will fall into place eventually with the people you should be with, whereas I am now with Drew and my buddy Dave over here. We're getting our words out. This show on this YouTube channel, as long as it stands, this is the content you're going to get. So please subscribe, hit that like button, donate as you can. We're not asking you to give something that you don't have, but if you have it to give, it's appreciated. And be a part of this. Engage with us on Twitter, because this is something that we could build a community around, a community of truth tellers that aren't afraid anymore.
And also, we take calls. So if anyone wants to call in,
yes,
just call me on Skype at Devious Dave Rose, and you can discuss things. If you disagree with us or you agree with us, you can get the forum here. Again, we're not emotional little children who reference cartoons that Dave would never understand. And we allow people to say whatever they wish on this platform.
Yes.
And even if I might disagree, you still get your fucking full word. And in fact, I go as far as to mute myself and insist that everyone else does, as long as the person who is speaking gets to say their point. But then again, I'm the villain. That's what a villain would do, right? Let other people speak, right, Tex? That's what a villain does.
Yes, sir.
That's what I heard, at least. The rumor has it.
Well, it's a whole the idiocracy that we live in these days is hilarious. I'm somebody that I sit. Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, I sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but dude, I dreamt about this, like idiocracy, and then like I dreamt about like discussing this on the show. To be quite honest, I don't know if people here, the majority of people here, the 23 viewers right now, meow 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 meow, have ever watched the movie Idiocracy. It wasn't a comedy. It was literally a fucking documentary. And Mike Judge, initially when I, saw Beavis and Butthead, wasn't my thing. I had all these friends that just loved this shit, and I didn't like it. It sort of annoyed me. Looking back on it, it was a lot smarter than I realized, but I didn't dig it. But Mike Judge has obviously been on Alex Jones's show, and the guy's fucking ultra intelligent. But if you want to see, if you truly people listening right now, if you truly want to see a good movie, both entertaining and yet horrifying, with no blood or guts, no gore, you have to watch Idiocracy. Mike Judge wrote it and directed it. And it is like, I can't remember who came out and said this. They said, this movie, is reality. It was like, it wasn't a documentary. This is literally a reality show. What you're seeing right now in America, in the West, is exactly what you see in that movie Idiocracy. And dude, people listening to me right now, listen to my voice. It's fucking scary how close to reality this is. If you have not seen this movie and you don't have the ability to stream it, you let me know. I will give you the link and you'll be able to watch it online, no problem. But people, this movie is fucking scary just for the fact that it's so fucking true. And it's a parody. The movie's supposed to be a fucking parody. Please continue.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is, the few times in life you're given opportunities to do something big. And I can't help but feel that this is one of those times. And the only way it gets to that point is by the right people standing up, getting behind it, and saying, fuck you, I'm not afraid. This is my truth, and I'm going to stand behind it. And there has never been a time like now with everything going on. Everything is on the line. We can't change the world by ourselves. By ourselves, we're nothing. But the power, the power of your voice can move mountains. Told to the right ears.
I want to say one thing real quick. Again, what you said is a good point. But I want to add to this, and I've seen this, people saying this, is that, again, if you actually are a degenerate and you believe in a higher power, why would you exist at this point, at this crucial point in time where things are going to absolute shit? Why were you chosen to witness this? Because your God hates you? Or because he knows that you have a purpose and point?
I'm somebody that believes in faith. I'm somebody that believes, for years and years.
There's no such thing as coincidence. Sorry. There's no such thing as coincidence. Please continue.
Oh, you're right. Well, for years of my life, I felt like I should have been born 50 years ago because I was raised from a moralistic background that has values and treasures the right things of life.
Yep.
And I always felt like I was born in the wrong time period. Like I never felt like I fit anywhere. But I know why I'm in this time period now, because I've got enough balls and backbone to speak up when others won't.
Because we're being
tasked.
We're being asked
right.
by the divine to step up. This is our time. We have to do this. We are being asked by the greatest of the great.
Right. Go look in your Bible and tell me how many good guys that God picked to do his missions for him. I dare you, go ahead. Did he picked the worst of the worst, the badass of the badass, to do what he wanted done, right? Well, what do you have with Dave Rose and I? You have two people who get despised, who get called every name in the book, because we don't kowtow down to anybody, and we don't mind stepping on toes to get where we need to go. We have found friends along the way. I love Drew. I love his platform. The Derailed Show does so much good. Like I said, I want everybody to go subscribe to that if you're not already. This show is a result of that. I found prior to Drew's show, I was always told Dave Rose is the devil. He's this, he's that. But that was by the sheep. That was by the people who were only worshiping one master and not thinking for themselves. I'm somebody that I do think for myself. I do go out on my own and I'll prove the theory. Well, guess what? Dave Rose is good people. If he wasn't good people, I wouldn't be sitting here with him right now doing a show. I don't hang around with trash. I have friends all over the place. I love Joe Cronin. I don't want anybody sending this shit out thinking I'm talking shit because I haven't said one bad word about anybody over there. You may hear me over there. You probably will. And guess what? It'll be all cool. That doesn't mean what we're doing here is any less important because this right here, I feel, is what was meant to be done because we're going to tell truths. We're not going to censor anybody. Whether you agree with us or not, you call that Skype phone, you'll get through and you'll get your 2 cents worth. Now, you might have some rebuttal in coming back at you, but guess what? It's going to be in an intelligent way. And there is plenty of examples of that if you want to go back and watch the footage. But the bottom line is this show right here, Hard Right, on this YouTube channel, is going to be something special. It already is. The basis that we're putting down here is only going to amplify and grow. Join us. There's many ways, and we look forward to it.
Absolutely, and Skype lines remain open if anyone wants to call in, if they have the guts. I mean, again, we have two forceful, intelligent individuals who, speak from the mind and shoot from the hip. And if you've got the guts, because again, apparently many people are intimidated by both of us, and that's fine. Okay, if that's what you want to think. Again, you don't know us, but you could still call in. You can still address us. You can still discuss what you might have on your mind.
Oh yeah, it's I look forward to what this becomes because when sometimes things just fall into place and they work out great. And this is what this is because we're building a community here of obviously I would like-minded people, but I also would love to have somebody of the opposite persuasion, somebody of the opposite opinion, debate me, make me prove why my points are better because I already know I'm right. Exactly. It's up to me to show you why I'm right. Yep. And the only way I can do that is iron sharpens iron, right? It says it in the good book. So I better get my iron sharp because in these days and times we live in, I'm going to need that sharp sword. So I'm down.
So, what else shall we discuss? I mean, we've gone through quite a lot. We've been going for how long here? I don't know, about 2 hours and 6 minutes. So 30 hours, 30 minutes longer than our last transmission. But we have no time limits tonight, and we've discussed the shooting. We've discussed the fact that the media is hiding the motivation on this. This individual, okay, and in fact, you know what? I'll put up the images again because I had these up earlier. But this individual, obviously, apparently was either a homosexual or some sort of transsexual. You can see on the image on the right here, dressed in drag. And apparently he went to school wearing eyeliner. And I don't know whether or not he wore this sort of shit at school, which would deservedly provide, him with the opportunity to be ridiculed. But the fact is that if he went to school with eyeliner, and he got ridiculed, it's because of his own degeneracy. So he took that as a personal insult, so he went back to the school and shot a bunch of kids. He was 18. This was a elementary school. I don't know why or how he went there. I mean, why he didn't go to his elementary, like his personal school. Again, 18 years old. He's going to a school with a bunch of 4th and 5th graders, 3rd, 4th, 5th graders, because, that was the...
I like this possibility.
What's that?
Drew just commented in the chat. He says, I request discussing the comparison of the recent shootings versus the New York subway shootings and what the differences are. That'd be a fun episode.
Well, there really is no difference because literally every single individual was under the influence of psychotropic drugs, was strangely connected, again, strange occurrences, with some sort of psychologist that had connections to military intelligence. And oh my, how does that align with Project MK Ultra? Oh, there's certainly no coincidences here. Ho ho! Again, I'm so tired. Like, no, hold on. I'm just tired, dude. I'm tired. I'm tired of having to explain this shit. I'm tired of having to point this shit out. Look, read a fucking book, people. Read a fucking book. I read the books. I do the fucking work for you. I do the fucking, God damn it. I do the research for you. And you still question? You still ridicule? For shame. For fucking shame. Please continue.
Well, no, I was curious in the chat. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you've ever looked into MK Ultra. Like, what do you know about it? Give me some comments in here. Like on like a 1 to 10, how educated are you on the whole project?
Good question.
MK Ultra?
Good question.
The roots of it, its ties even up in Canada. Whenever it was a Project Blackbird it came in Canada.
It actually it didn't start in Canada, but Canada is one of the places where it literally bloomed. That's the best way to describe it. It bloomed in Canada.
Well, that's what I was getting at, because after basically here, after it got exposed for what it was, they shut down MK Ultra and they moved it to Canada. And I
supposedly, I
believe that was the name of it. I'd have to double check that, but I'm almost sure that's what it was called. But
what? Which one? What's the name?
I believe Project MK Ultra turned into Blackbird in Canada. Was that what the name that it turned into?
That I'm not aware of. I'm gonna have to look into that. I did not see that. But I do know that MK Ultra. Okay, so basically, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, 1976. There was the what was it called? The hearings on political assassination. So, what did they find? A, the CIA has a gun that literally fires a poisonous dart, which is made of ice, which will penetrate the skin and inject you with this poison, but not be detectable. It's a heart attack. They call it the heart attack gun. And it's been utilized by the CIA for, well, at that point, 1976, had been utilized for at least a decade. Probably more, and I can go into that later. Mary's Monkey people. Jones has talked about this. There's a lot of people who have done discussion about this, but regardless. So they talked about that, but what was revealed also in this hearing about assassinations, that MK Ultra was an actual fucking program, and that it was utilizing technologies and strategies since the 1950s. Again, MK Ultra, mind control. Okay, who was brought in by Project Paperclip? That's right, the Germans that were able to escape being, taken control of by the Soviets. So what did the Americans do? They took full advantage of all these individuals that had been doing all these sorts of experiments, including those on humans, those on mind control, and they just transplanted them into America. And we clearly see that the Canadians were in on it because they transferred a lot of this to Montreal, Canada. And they developed, or at least continue to experiment on individuals, unsuspecting individuals. These mind control experiments, especially utilizing LSD even before Timothy Leary, who was also a CIA asset.
You know, if and when Drew and you and whoever do the JFK show,
You got to be there.
I would love to. Oh, I'm going to go full blown Alex Jones when I do, and shit's going to get crazy, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Because with your knowledge plus mine plus Drew's on this.
You hear that, Drew? It's going to get nuts. Let's get nuts. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Full-blown Michael Keaton. Let's get
That's
nuts.
right, exactly. That's exactly what I'm fucking thinking. Let's get fucking nuts. And I've researched this, and I'm sure you have researched it too. And I've got to get you some information because let's just say this publicly. I know people, and let me just show you privately what I know, and you'll see that I know people, and that'll be the end of that. But again, you clearly are quite aware, and Drew really needs to put this thing shit together. Me, you, Drew, we talk about the JFK assassination, and we break it the fuck down. And sorry, Drew, you're going to have to neglect your family. That's just going to have to be the way it is. Because we're going to have to, like, look, what, 6 hours? 6 hours is that's amateur shit. We're going to have to go for longer than that. So I want you to fucking call into work, tell them you're going to be gone for 2 days. I want you to tell your family that you're going to neglect them for, the next 3 days. And you're going to basically transmit with me and Tex, and we're going to do a show about the Kennedy assassination.
And you're going to need at least 2 cases of your peanut butter whiskey because
at least 2 cases, at least. Yeah, you're actually going to need it. When dealing with me and Tex, you're going to be like, I need to drink to fucking even, compose this, like understand this shit. Because this is like too much. Like, what are you telling me that this connection is here? And yeah, right. I know you're laughing because the fact is, it's true.
Oh.
Because, like, look, we're going to blow, like, Drew's skull off with the truth that we're going to be talking about. His mind is, like, his skull's just, like blown off.
It will be glorious.
Oh, the shit that I've got, and I'm sure the shit you got. But, like, there's so much that we can fucking blow open. And we need to. We have to. It's been, 70 years since the fucking assassination, which really was a coup against America? No, it's time to blow the fucking top off this shit. Let's expose every single one, and I got all the fucking images to fucking prove this shit.
Drew says,
wink.
Okay, so you're saying JFK is going to need to be broadcast through the backup channel. It's probably best if you do, because it's going to get crazy.
Or behind a paywall.
If you have the backup.
Or behind a paywall if you want.
That would be a great Patreon thing. Just throwing that out there, get some of those Patreon dollars. So we might as well monetize this and make some money off of it. So I'm all down for that. So
well, Drew has the tax thing set up so that he can take donations. I don't because Canada literally will rape you for taxes. So that's why I accept PayPal only, because Canada wants to rape me with taxes.
I'm sure he'd be more than happy to drop that PayPal link if y'all feel generous. So he probably wouldn't be too ashamed of it, if you know what I'm saying.
So the goon in the chat. The goon in the chat actually says, I've been to the grassy knoll and went on the JFK tour. I saw the room where where the shot was supposedly fired, supposedly by fucking Oswald, which we know is wrong because the shot came from the front, not from the back, in the book depository. But there was shots made from the grassy knoll, absolutely. And, well, I've got many names of them. So, Drew, when you finally...
say, there were many hitmen that day all over Dallas.
I've got the name of most of them, dude. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
like, there's so many fucking, like, people. And it was like, like, anyone thinks, oh, one group was responsible. You're fucking retarded. Right. Literally, all these different groups says, this guy's fucking us up. Let's work together. And that's what happened. JFK, FBI, CIA, fucking Cuban, renegades, fucking all these other people working together to literally just Italian mafia. Literally, you had a team of at least 8 different shooters. And by the way, and I think we should acknowledge this, Tex. The fact is, at least 8 shots were shot at Kennedy. Only 3 actually got him. You goddamn fucking dirty fucking wetback spics, and I'm speaking as one. You goddamn fucking dirty wop dagos, and I'm 8th Italian, so I can say that too. You goddamn idiots couldn't fucking shoot this guy. Even when the fucking driver, and we've proven this, and I will prove this when we fucking do this, because I will fucking show the videos. Because I can show you the unedited Zapruder film. Okay? Yes, I can. This guy stops the fucking car and lets these people shoot. And yet these fucking retards can't even fucking shoot this guy when the car is practically stopped. It just took one shot finally to fucking shoot him from the front. To finally get him. The guy got shot in the shoulder. He got shot in the throat. He was still fucking alive. These idiots still couldn't fucking shoot him. And then finally this guy, the driver, had to come to a full stop. And this bullshit about, the driver turned around and shot him. Bullshit. Wrong. It was the final shooter. And that one was the one that shot through the head. And the head went back. Cronkite. Not forward. Back. Drew, what the fuck are you waiting for, Drew? I'm passionate right now. Why are you not fucking doing this fucking stream, dude? Especially with the Texan. This man's been to fucking Dealey Plaza.
He says, Umbrella Man, we coming for you, nigga. So he's pulling some old school WCW on us with the Booker.
Umbrella Man and Babushka Lady, they were basically observing. Babushka Lady, Umbrella Man, they were there basically just to monitor. But if you look at the fucking... Here, how about this? I'll tell you people this, just so that you can be prepped and ready, because you need to be when we finally discuss this. And Drew, set it up, asshole. Please. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to call you asshole. I'm trying to just light a fire under your bum. But set this up, dude, because, there's so much that I could be discussing. I even lost track of what I was just going to talk about. But, God damn it. Why can't we talk about this shit? I got so much to... Okay, how about this? I remember now. Look up this. Ladies and gentlemen, look up this. God damn it, I'm losing it again. God damn it. It's fucking beer and shit that I'm drinking. Jim Fetzer. There we go. Got it. Jim Fetzer. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Fetzer. He's been taken off the internet multiple times. Jim, obviously. And then Fetzer. F-E-T-Z-E-R. And I just say it in your American way, Z, as opposed to Z, which is the appropriate way. Jim Fetzer. You want to take a look at the video analysis of how the Zapruder film had been altered to try to convince people that the shot came from behind as opposed to from the front? Look it up. Look up
Well,
what Jim Fetzer said.
I don't want to give too much away because I know Drew wants in on this, and I think this has the potential to be amazing. So
I've
let's
been waiting
just
for
leave it
months,
with
so
this.
I don't know what the
Right.
fuck he's waiting for.
Well, maybe we can. Hopefully, we can squeeze it in. I know schedules are hard to get
No,
together,
what are you talking about?
but
This guy neglects his family all the time. He has nothing to fucking worry about. Just fucking
well,
let's just do
hopefully,
the show. Let
hopefully
your
he
kids
can.
starve.
Hopefully he can sell enough cheese and not talk about McDonald's drive-through times, and we can
Oh
talk
man,
about
this guy can sell cheese in his fucking sleep. He's got an excuse for fucking doing a show with us.
oh, wait, hang on. Apparently, Cora is she has doubts about the JFK. That might be fun to get somebody of the opposite opinion on this. That could be kind of cool.
What was the comment, sorry?
She says, "Oh, that's very much a topic that I respect to have doubts about." I like
Well,
this.
it just sounds like she has doubts on the fact that he was killed in the way that was described by mainstream media. So, yeah, but that's the thing, though. Here on Hard Right, we're not offended. We're not emotional little leftist
No.
bitches. We're more than willing to take your
No.
call if you have the guts to call in.
Yeah.
And again,
Cora,
the lines are open if you want to call in. But I'm not referring to Cora. I'm just referring to all these different people. They're like, oh, well, like, that's extreme. Okay, call in and tell us how we're wrong. There you go. Except for you, Skunt. You suck.
Yeah, you're not allowed to call into this show. I'm putting my foot down. You're eternally blocked, so fuck off. But
so say
it's
the Tex.
He's not allowed in my OK Corrals. So
unless he's target practice. How dare you, Mon?
Yeah.
How dare you threaten me?
he has to agree to constantly have an apple duct taped to his head, so at any point in time, anybody can try to target shoot.
Oh, you're gonna pull a William Tell there?
Yeah. Well, as I said a minute ago, iron sharpens iron. So, with all things, you practice your shooting skills as well. Right? So he's going to help us out with that.
Okay, well, if you're going to do that, I would suggest that you utilize the machine gun that's on the bottom of the fucking oh fuck, I forgot what it's called. The Warthog. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The A10, the A10 Warthog. Where basically it's not a plane that has a gun built in it. It literally is a gun that has a plane built around it. This gun has the ability to it fires thousands of rounds a minute. Now think about that, people. Thousands of rounds a minute. But they're incendiary and they're also armor piercing.
Makes me hard to even think about.
Oh no, absolutely. I'm getting hard fucking thinking about it right now. This motherfucker can fucking bust into a tank, no fucking problem. These things have been shot by fucking anti-aircraft missiles, guns and stuff. Right. Been half a tail's blown off and shit. This motherfucker can still fucking land and still fucking fight. It is one of the toughest motherfuckers out there. And thankfully, they reinstituted the system because they were going to cancel it and so forth because the F-35, single engine piece of shit, pork barrel garbage, was, going to supplant everything else. No, there ain't nothing that fucking can compare to fucking A-10 Warthog. Nothing. And again, you know what? I think the, 1950, was it 1940? Okay, so the B-52, it was made, I think, in 1954. The thing is more than
somewhere around
60, 70, 80 years old. Okay, and they expect that this airframe is going to continue to be in use until 2040 or something. Okay, You don't need to reinvent the wheel assholes. The fact is, if you want to dig deep into what I really like, which is ancient civilizations, they sort of outline the fact that, there was planes that existed with what you could consider primitive designs, yet we're flying there in 10,000 plus BC and so forth. So if you're going to discount the A-10, well, you got to discount the fucking B-52. But the B-52 has probably been the most popular fucking airframe that probably ever existed. It's been the longest running and the most capable. It can launch any sort of typical conventional bomb or nuclear fucking cruise missiles. In fact, it's been even talked about that they can be adapted to launch ICBMs. Fucking ICBMs. So you don't have to go very far because we already have the technology to do what we need to. Please continue.
Well, and that's the whole thing is, shit like that. That's how I know we're still real men, because we get excited even thinking about that kind of stuff, right? When you go back and you show the sissy boy talking about how shooting the AR-15 gave temporary PTSD because his vagina was hurting that day. That's that de-evolution that I was talking about earlier. That's what that is. We're still, the upright man standing on the right side of that chart, where he's at best somewhere in the middle. He's slumped down. He's not even standing upright anymore because the thought of a loud gun scares him to death. So it's such a, if anything, if there's only one ideal that gets through with this show, is, for me, that's the most important, is the bringing back of the Western culture, man. What modern day calls chauvinist. It's what made this world great. It was men proud of being men, women proud of being women, and everybody had their place, they had their role, and everybody functioned, and everybody prospered for it. And what we have now is you can be whatever you want to be, and everybody chooses to be a butthole. Well, that's not allowed here. I'm not taking part of that. What I'm talking about here is doing our very, obviously we can never get back to what our glory days were, but we can have some form of it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? We certainly can. Let shit hit the fan and let things reset. You want the Great Reset?
I can't wait.
Forget
the Great Reset's real.
No, but forget the World Economic Forum reset. Let the world fucking crumble and things fall apart. And in your local community, things will go back to exactly the way things were 200 years ago, where people would actually work together, where there'd be a sense of community, where there'd be an idea of defending your folk. Well, let the shit hit the fan.
If I were to tell you some keywords here, Agenda 2030, and the destruction and the aftermath of what happened when the riots happened in Minneapolis with all that George Floyd shit, what would you say? What would you think if I told you that?
Sorry, what was the question?
I'm assuming you know what Agenda 2030 is.
Oh, no, right? Yeah, sorry. I was, sorry, I'm a little distracted with the comments. Yeah, 2030. It used to be Agenda 2021. Now it's Agenda 2030. It's gone through multiple different name changes, but the intention is still the same. It's basically full control over, spectrum dominance, and especially through the control of basically transport. So they want to limit, first of all, they're inhibiting your God-given right to travel uninhibited. So
Right.
they want to basically inhibit your ability to travel. They want to install toll roads and create this massive superhighway that's used to transport their goods that benefits them. But any other roads, they're going to install fucking toll roads, and they're going to force you to have to pay. And on top of that, social media credit scores, which is what the Chicoms have been pushed in China, is being applied here in America and Canada. Basically, oh, you said this, or you didn't like that. Oh, we're gonna have to, prevent your movement.
Yeah. Well, and as far as the social credit score goes over in China, in the beginning of the pandemic, I was listening to it was a Batman related podcast. I can't even remember the name of it now. I've listened to it so long. Once I found out their politics, I pretty much turned them off. But basically, this guy was living over in China, and uh, every person over there had to have an app, and it was based on the social credit score. And there was a little color that would come up that had green, red, and yellow. If you were green, basically you were a good little civilian. You did as you were told, and you stayed away from the hot zones. But as you walked, they required everybody to have this app on their phone. And if they went into a zone that was yellow, you couldn't go there. And if you did go, then yours would be yellow and it would affect you. If you went into a red, that's when it got real nasty.
Orwell's
So,
getting a
this
fucking
is a-
hard on.
Huh?
George Orwell's getting a hard on.
Oh yeah.
Thinking about
Oh
that
yeah.
shit.
1,000%. Oh yeah. So this stuff is already in place. What do you think with this metaverse that the Facebook is putting out? What do you think that is? There are so many rabbit holes we could go down with this thing. It's going to blow
Actually,
people.
I call it the Happy Box. Geiger, I don't know if you know Geiger. He was the Satanist. He drew paintings about this, about like people in like a dystopian world who were basically just constricted to their little happy box, fed on oxygen and illusions and stuff, and they continue to live this sort of fantasy. I'll have to find a graphic for that, but that's the best way I can explain that.
Well, that's the whole thing is, if you go back, and I purposely brought up the George Floyd riots and how they burned shit down and everything else, because after you started to hear Agenda 2030 pop up,
Yep.
after these riots were happening, because these land developers were scooping up these properties right there in Minneapolis where all these, events happen.
Oh,
whatever.
you mean BlackRock?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
that company,
I was wondering
BlackRock.
if you were going to go there.
Look them
And
up, people.
they were-
Look up who BlackRock
they were
is.
scooping.
Look who they're connected to. Okay, don't call us psychos or conspiracy theorists until you look this information up. BlackRock.
There are so many. I love people talk. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, and then a year later they say it on the mainstream news, and everybody acts like they know what it is.
Yep,
That makes me laugh.
That's a very typical mental dissonant cognitive stance that is displayed by people, and it's like, yeah, it's always been this way. It's like, no, asshole. Last year you totally disagreed with me. I pointed this out. You called me a liar. All this stuff. Now you just want to just swallow this shit and say I always believe this. It's literally straight out of fucking 1984, and the only cure for this is a aluminum bat to the side of the head, specifically the temple.
Yeah. It's, what was a conspiracy yesterday in 2 months will be your everyday normal news. Now,
Yeah, but you know what? I'm done. I'm done.
Aliens have been here all the time. Aliens have been here all the time. What are you talking about?
But
blah,
Tex,
blah, blah. It's just the news.
Aren't you tired about this? Because I certainly am. I'm done taking fucking, even listening to these fucks. I'm done. You want to claim a conspiracy theorist and that I don't know what I'm talking about, and a year later pretend like I never fucking called you out or fucking explained this? No. Your head will be on my platter. As simple as that. Because these people will be exposed because they are subversive, and they attempt to try to gaslight people. So while they believe certain things and say, "Oh, well, that's not true," text like, there's no this or that, and then a year later, like, well, Tex, I always believe that. How dare you think I'd never believe that? No, you ain't gonna gaslight me. You ain't gonna convince me
Right.
that you're actually fucking saying the truth when you know that you're not. But you realize that
Right.
you're just such a fucking moron that the only way to protect yourself is to do so. And I certainly won't stand for it. So I will fucking expose you.
They're no different than the people who are a hardcore Cowboy fan all football season, right? And then once it gets to the playoffs, they're all of a sudden a fan of the San Francisco 49ers and they're wearing the jersey, right? And then when you go talk to them, you're like, hey, Bill, why are you wearing a 49er jersey? Man, what are you talking about? I've always been a fan of this team. And they start spouting off the knowledge that they got off the TV that day. It's just fair weather fans is all it is. I don't want to look stupid, so I'm going to do whatever I have to do to fit into this little club here. And people like us are sitting there with, smoke coming out of our ears because we said these things 2 months ago. Take the lockdown, all the COVID nonsense. Even Drew's talked about this on his show. He was saying stuff 2 years ago, and they called him crazy and a killer for it. But now they say it on the news, and everybody's okay because, maybe we don't have to have this mask. Maybe we don't have to have that. It's so stupid what we deal with. I don't understand it. Go drink some wine and pet your cats. That's great. Oh, that's hilarious.
I do like to push, but I don't think that neither Cora nor fucking Tiff have, I should say, cats. But you know what? I do like to fucking. It's just fun this way. I mean, let's just have some fun, but not like mellow yellow gay shit. I'm talking about real fun. Having fun, like making these little slight jabs and fucking using. Again, seriously, people, seriously, you're not going to think this is not the most intellectual show on the fucking continent? Really? Really? Because, like, who else? First of all, who has the courage? Okay, like, literally, we have enough courage to, not only fucking be the 300 of the Spartans, but actually win, as opposed to in actual history where they lost. But we have the guts to talk about this. We have no fucking reservations whatsoever to address this sort of thing. So, again, you got the cowards out there. They can't talk about this. And then you got Tex and me, who don't give a flying fuck. The Texan cowboy and the Argentine gaucho.
Well, that's the whole thing is, when kindred spirits find each other, that's when heads start to roll. I'm starting to see them pile up a little bit. I wonder how big we're going to get this pile. I look forward to,
well, just like
putting them on my mantle.
Well, like I was saying with the 300, they said, they piled up a massive amount of bodies and they made a wall out of the bodies of all their opponents. So we literally are the 300.
Right. I don't know. Like I said, this is going to be cool. I think once this catches on, it's going to be big and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I look forward to the debates that we will have. I mean, everything we're talking about here, picture us as the newest Marvel movie here. And we're laying an Easter egg for something that pays off.
We're not woke. No, that's very gay to say because we are not woke. We are not woke at all. We are not the newest Marvel movie.
You get my point either way.
Just pick a better Marvel movie, okay, and then I'll agree.
Well, whichever movie that you like that lays Easter eggs for the future content we're going to give you, this is what this is. I think that's a better statement here.
There we go. I'll agree. I will agree to your terms.
It is like I said, we don't have to agree with you to appreciate you here. I welcome, as so does Dave, all viewpoints, the debate back and forth, and the camaraderie and the fun we'll have. And like I said, this is normally a Thursday show, but with everything going on, we had to do it today.
Yep.
We didn't want to do it yesterday. One, Drew was live, and we were there on his show, and we don't want to step on toes with our buddies, right?
And it was too important to wait till tomorrow. We could have, but no,
Right.
it had to be. It had to be tonight. There was just too much that had to be talked about. Because this is absolute fucking bullshit.
It gave it another 24 hours for more facts of the case to come out. So that also benefited us as well. So, it's one of those things, and I appreciate everybody here that is here. We've got Cora, Tiff, Costanza, of course, is here. Drew's been here all night. Goon. Just kind of shout people out here. Who else? Am I missing anybody? Leaping Lizard popped in. So we got a good little crowd back and forth there. I like where this is going. It's a good sign.
You know what I want to see? I want to see actually a meeting in Texas, because you have YR, you have you have Tiff, you have Earl, you have who else is in Texas? There's somebody else in Texas. I don't know if it was the Goon who's in Texas. There's a few Latinos in Texas, but there's quite a few people there. I mean, I think it'd be possible to have a little get together and you guys, have a little celebration.
Oh, hell yeah!
Or do they have the guts to do that? Is the question.
To kind of touch on like the topic of this show, Drew just sent me a picture of the TV at the bar that he's in, and apparently they're talking about this on Sports Center on ESPN. Because that happened during the playoffs. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So.
There's no agenda at all, Tex. No agenda at all. Motherfuckers.
Oh my God. How I don't often talk to people, but when I talk to people who don't think critically, it's like, okay, I know certain people who just watch a movie or TV show or just see the news, and they don't formulate the connections. Who owns this? What else is this akin to?
Who benefits?
They just take it for what it is. I can't do that. If I'm watching a film and I see something that is much like a They Live or a 1987 or whatever it may be, like an Idiocracy, whatever it might be, my brain can't stop it from going there. Like I seek more answers. I seek more truth. And the fact that some people can't do that, it blows my mind. Like, how are you so complacent that you're just fed your newest garbage and you just accept it and you keep going? You don't dig. Why in the hell is Sports Center covering this? This didn't happen at a baseball game. This wasn't at the NFL halftime show. This is none of your business. Tell me which basketball team won and which football team treated who's or whatever, and move on about your day. That's all I need you for. If you're not going to do Sports Center, move on. Keep your woke agenda crap to yourself. It's ridiculous. I don't understand it.
Absolutely.
It's so stupid.
So in the chat here, Tiff says, Goon, want to be the third person I meet in community from the community. LOL. I get it. Joey Z says, that's exactly why I don't watch Sports Center anymore. I can't blame you. Most of these sports shows are so woke and trying to be fucking some sort of bullshit. It's like, I just want to watch sports, okay? I want a Don Cherry to be fucking unrepentant and unabashed, talk shit, and fucking give me a good show. That's what I want. I don't want fucking woke people and all that shit. Tiff says, getting rid of cable and social media was the best decision I ever made.
I'm right there with you.
And Drew says, remember when Costas went on the gun
Bob
control
Costas. He's
rant
talking about Bob Costas,
during Sunday
the
Night
sports.
Football? I don't know. I'm not aware of that, but please explain.
He's talking about the NBC reporter Bob Costas in the middle of the Sunday night game a few years ago. He went on this long speech of gun control and la di da, and how everybody needs to give them up right in the middle of a football game, and it was so bad, like people just shut the game off, like tons. It pissed off everybody because it came out of nowhere. It was ridiculous. It's awful. Let's see. Corey says once they started wearing suits and stopped being chill sports folks talking the game more than sponsors or PR statements, sports shows were done. Oh yeah, no, it's all of these shows that you see nowadays are what products can we sell to you? The shows themselves are just a
wait, hold on. Not just products. What kind of social outrage can we sell to you?
Cassandra said, I still see woke shit on YouTube ads and stuff so without cable. Oh, you can't, if you're on any sort of media, even a podcast. I was listening to, there's a podcast that I listen to. It's called Weird Darkness. They tell like paranormal stories and stuff. And I got a ad. It was in Spanish. It was, I don't speak fluent Spanish. I can understand some of it.
As a spick, I say, what the fuck?
Because, yeah, it was like,
sorry,
it was
this
something
is America.
Political.
This is America. And why you giving me ads in Spanish?
It was, I'm trying to remember what it was about. It was something political because they were talking about Austin. Anytime they mention Austin, Texas, you automatically know it's
anytime you need a fucking translator, let me know and I'll fucking translate these commie bastards. Because I can bet the translation would be like, vote Democrat. White people and Republicans are racist and they want to kill you and see your kids burned. That I can almost guarantee that was probably the fucking ad. Also, if you look at the video, well, the stream right now, I've transitioned to an image of a beautiful, beautiful firearm. A sidearm, in fact. Some call it the Judge. It's got 5 rounds of 410. What do you think about that?
I don't own one, but I know.
Snub nose, bro.
It's a snub nose, yeah. I don't own one. I'm a 45 guy.
No, I'm not talking about. Okay, look, I love 45s. Okay, it's probably the most perfect fucking firearm that's ever been created. But let's just look at this, okay? Let's not look at talk about what you got. Let's just talk about this for a moment here. Now, don't you think this motherfucking moose of a firearm isn't beautiful? I mean, again, 410.
Oh, it's
410 shotgun rounds, 5 rounds in the revolver, short, snub nosed. Like the damage that you can cause on that, and I would use something like this if I was in the forest, because again, a bear comes up to you, you can end it right there. And thankfully, here in Ontario, I don't have to deal with grizzlies. So a black bear, this will take down. A grizzly, no. Well, if I had maybe enough time, but I'd probably need more. But the fact is that it's a beautiful firearm. It carries 410 caliber, rounds, and it's a beautiful piece of machinery.
When we carry revolvers when we go hog hunting, because oftentimes people will use either deer rifles to AR-15s for hog hunting, but more often than not, that doesn't put them down all the way.
No.
So what you'll have is a sidearm like the Judge that's on the screen here.
Yep.
So you walk up and you basically one to the side of the head, because the foot, like, it's hard to penetrate a hog with a round.
Yep.
Like you have to have a high power round to do it. So something like that right there is just like you're talking about with the bear. one thing I love about a revolver is its simple craftsmanship. Yes, if you have like a Glock or you have something with the slide in the magazine, that's a work of art in and of itself.
Yes.
But the simplicity in something like this
I
is
love that you
something
bring
that
this
will
up.
never go out of style.
I love that
It
you
will
bring this up.
never go out of style.
Now,
It's amazing.
I want to quickly add to that is that I was an avid fan of the magazine Soldier of Fortune, and the
Mhm.
real life Rambo, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. The guy went into
Okay.
fucking combat with like 8 revolvers. And people were asked, well, why aren't you taking, anything like a Colt or nothing? He says, these things are reliable. So,
yeah.
again, less moving parts equals more efficient. You don't have to worry about a gun jam from a
Right.
fucking revolver. And your fucking rounds, your expended rounds, are kept within the chambers of the revolver. You don't have to worry about, picking them up, anything like that. If you're at the point where you need to worry about that. But, this real world Rambo, and again, I've got to find the article. I've got it saved. Like, I've got it, somewhere in my, archives. But this guy literally went into fucking combat just covered in revolvers. And he was lethal with the way he fucking operated. So, yes, there is an art form, obviously, to all firearms. And anybody that is scared of firearms, a little cuckboy, conservative, whatever, you'd be scared of something that goes bang and makes a big noise. But those that actually
and the beauty
appreciate...
of that gun, when you run out of ammunition, you can beat somebody to death with it. That's the beauty of something.
I'm glad that you bring that up as well, is that many people never consider the fact that this thing is actually quite hefty. And and again, blunt force trauma is the primary source of death for Americans in America. So, run out of bullets and you can literally beat somebody to death with something like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A gun very similar to that's what civilized the West and started us on our journey to becoming the power of the world, only to try and give it away these days. So,
hey, check this out.
If you ever want to know why guns are so important, it's because it changed everything.
It's the great equalizer. The little 5'4" lady who might weigh 100 pounds gets confronted by some piece of garbage. She pulls out her fucking snub-nosed 38 and sends him to hell. Firearms are the great equalizer. Now, Cora says in the chat, speed loaders, apparently knows her shit. Speed loaders work well on revolvers in a hurry, by the way. No need to tell the gentleman that, lady. I appreciate that you understand that stuff. Great to know that you can defend yourself. But come on, both of us, have a cock and balls.
I've always said, an armed society is a polite society. I want to see a chicken in every pot and a gun in every hand.
Actually, I want to see every single woman trained on how to use a pistol.
100%.
100%. Also, in the chat, she also says, as a woman who carries, respect to you, Cora. Again, you got, people, a lot of people criticize Cora, liberal and stuff, and yes, she is a liberal, and she voted for Biden. I can't excuse that at all, but she carries. Okay, so you gotta have a little bit of respect there. But what does she say? She says, as a woman who carries, these are heavy additions to a purse, LOL. But that's the thing. You've got these great fucking sort of well, it depends if you got open or closed, but or concealed, I should say. But if it's concealed, you can literally have a holster that's just right underneath your shirt. Lift up your shirt, it's on your fucking belt. Pull out the gun, shoot them in the face, and you're good to go. So, and there's a bunch of different types of holsters that are available depending on, there's girls that have, holsters in their fucking bras and shit. They pull out a fucking cannon and fucking shoot you. So I mean, like,
Yep.
it's you have the options out there. Everyone has the options for was it ankle holsters? That's not a new thing, dudes. That's been around for a
I
long
saw
time.
one. I went to a gun show years ago, and I'll have to find the name of the company, and then I'll tweet out the website. But they make custom holsters for men and women. And one that they had for the women, it was a bra holster. And basically, what it was like an Under Armour type material, right? So it wasn't hot. It was kind of like a sports bra. Look at that. And basically, the holster was in the middle. You could either put it in the middle of your back or on the front side of your rib cage. And if you were wearing a loose shirt, it would print because it would hold the gun tight.
Yep.
And it was very easy to reach, whether you reached to the middle of your back or to your side, whichever you were on.
Yep.
It wasn't cheap, but it was pretty neat.
I'll say this about these designers is that they've actually taken in consideration women's fashion preferences, and they've actually like streamlined their work to you want to wear a strapless dress? We got this holster for you. You want to wear a blouse that's flowy? We got this solution for you. You want to wear jeans and a fucking t-shirt? We got this solution for you. But like, people got to consider the fact that there's been a lot of effort that's gone into actually developing different types of concealed holster types for women. Again, women like purses, shoes, whatever. Well, guess what? You guys got to get interested in the fucking holsters because they're made for any fucking occasion and any fucking outfit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got. Obviously, I have the typical Kydex holsters that like the hard plastic ones. I've got some that are made out of leather. I've got some that's like a velvety material that's made for the in the pant carry. I've got all kinds. I've got the shoulder straps, that go across the X over your back.
I prefer those personally. So much more convenient.
Those are okay, but the only thing I don't like about those is it lets the gun move too much for my taste. And since I do carry...
It depends on the strap you got. I think maybe you got the wrong strap because you can actually sort of secure the bottom side.
Well, it doesn't work with the gun that I carry.
Well, okay, maybe you're carrying a fucking cannon, so I can understand maybe that's the reason why.
Yeah, it needs. If I was carrying even like a 9mm or something, or like that Judge, it would be great. But for the 45 that I carry, it's too big. It doesn't. There's too much weight to it, so I carry on my waist. So.
Okay, well, since you've already said it, I'll ask about it. It's a 45. What kind?
Hang on one second. I have to switch earbuds. This one's about to down me. Go ahead and talk for a minute.
All right. Well, while we wait for Tex to get his connection going, we have Cora in the chat, and she says, and this is quite complimentary and very awesome, I would think. But she says, I always carry 2 firearms wherever I go. Now that's fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. Not just 1, but 2. So nobody better fuck around with Cora because she got 2 to shoot you. So I definitely encourage and support your agreement with the Second Amendment. We got Cora says, I have 1 in every room of my home, different firearms. Shit, you're ready for a fucking, swatting. Like, if, something happened, you'd be able to defend yourself, no problem. She says there's a bra holster, Jinx. Oh, so she was saying what I was saying. I have a vintage Derringer that holds 2 shots. Nice. Hopefully that's what you wear in a garter. That's what
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. But
Okay, sorry.
yeah, Cora, that's what you wear in a garter. You know, a two-shot Derringer. That's what you wear a nice frilly dress as they did in the late 1800s, 1890s maybe. And you've got that in your garter. You pull that out when somebody's fucking around. You shoot them in the balls, and you're good to go. And let's see here. We got Cora says, I tend to like the holster that is clipped to the back of my pants at the small of my back. Those are great holsters, to be quite honest. I actually do prefer those. They're just quicker access. I mean, okay, not on the hip, but on the thigh, like I guess Han Solo, maybe a better chance to pull out quick and shoot. But with that in the back, it's concealed and it's ready to be revealed. What are you saying?
Even when I carry, I don't carry directly on the hip. Number one, if you're walking, you're going to bang it on whatever you're walking into. It makes you wider. It makes it wobble, whatever. Yep. So for me, if I'm openly carrying, I go to like the front side of my right hip. So it's basically over my front pocket. I still have full movement. It's not in the way. I can get in and out of the truck, do whatever I need to do. Or if I'm on a concealed carry, I go where Cora does, and I go to the small of my back. And that's when I use that in the pants holster. And it's in there.
I'm glad you mentioned that. The movement alone, like depending on where your holster is and where the gun is located, movement alone, like moving in and out of the vehicle, it's night and day depending on where that fucking holster is. So I can totally understand what you're saying here. That's actually very smart.
Well, I mean, have you ever carried a Combat Elite Government 45? It's made by Colt.
Not legally.
Well, that's what I carry on my belt every day. So it's a heavy son of a bitch. It's not
God bless America.
And then the one in my boot, I carry a small 380.
There we go. The ankle. I told you people.
Perfectly.
So it's a 38, you said?
A 380.
A 380. Sorry. 380. Okay.
Yes.
Shit. How many rounds on that?
Like the 380. I believe it's 8-in-1 or 7-in-1. I can't remember.
Someone's gonna get a dirty surprise if they fuck with you, and you got to pull that shit out.
I've got enough that I'm going to be okay. But, I mean, I also carry.
Not the other guy though.
Well, I ain't worried about the other guy.
Nobody is.
I also carry extra magazines in my other boot. So, one thing I do want to get into pretty deeply on a podcast early on is what is your EDC, your everyday carry?
Ooh.
Because that is one of the most important things that you need to learn.
Dude, I've talked about this in the past, and I'm more than willing to do this, but we can do it on the show if you want, or we can do this here. It's all up to you. Also, just to quickly interrupt, Cora, very liberal lady that many disagree with, she says 380 is nice. So she knows her firearms. Mm-hmm. So
it's not it would never be my go-to gun, but it would be like, it's a fine piece that if I've already used up my first line, it's a good backup, or it's a good gun I would use to get to my good gun. You know what I mean? So, it's not. That's
a good way to see it. Yeah, so I can agree.
It's, and I'm not going to tell you what I carry in my truck because I say that's special.
Certainly, exactly. That's a special. You got to experience that personally. I got that waiting for you.
Needless to say, if you want to know what's in there, try to steal my truck and I'll show it to you.
It's like that graphic I showed the other day. It's like, who needs hollow point fucking shotgun shells? I just didn't know which intestine or like internal organ I wanted to destroy, so I just decided all of them.
Cora, how can you be so knowledgeable about guns and all these things and still vote for President Shits in his pants? How does that work?
That is a weird thing. Yeah, Well, then again, she is a woman, so they are irrational and
They're,
emotional, and
they're a very
you can never
they're a
predict what they're
very
gonna do.
fickle bunch. You know, so
I'm sure we're gonna see a
but
comment from that in the
but
chat.
but they do give us sex and food, so we need to be
Yeah,
nice
you
to them
can't live
somewhat.
with them. You can't murder them because that's illegal. So.
uh, 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 oh, that's funny. I like to fuck around. It's all good. You know I'm fucking. But no, that's the whole thing. Is so. Dave, tell me what is don't tell me everything, but give me a good outline of what is your EDC. What do you grab on the way out of the house?
Okay, well, I actually have compiled or created, I should say, a system when it comes to my EDC, and it consists mostly of a belt, and everything that I basically need is on that belt. So,
Okay.
I've got a flashlight that is high intensity LED. It's actually qualified for combat, so you could
Now, does it have the rigid edge on the front of the flashlight like you
no, I
stab
did
with?
not get that, and that came out after I bought this thing, and I
Okay.
would have loved to get that because those things could work so well for combat. But this was basically it's a Phoenix. I think it's Phoenix. No, I gotta look it up. I can't remember. But yeah, basically high intensity. LED flashlight made for mil spec, supposedly,
Right.
conditions and so forth. And it's extremely durable. Okay. Um, uh, Leatherman Wave multi tool, right? Everyone needs a fucking multi tool. A Kershaw pocket knife, but
You mean a Kershaw?
Kershaw. Sorry, Kershaw. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's
just say,
my Canadian accent.
I was
Sorry.
just say, what is this company I've never heard of? I need to look into this.
It's my Canadian accent. I'm sorry. Sir Kershaw.
Oh,
Kershaw. Beautiful, beautiful blade. That's my side blade, which is more for rough cutting as opposed to the Leatherman, which is more for specialized things. What else? I got a carabiner, mountain climbing, qualified carabiner. Well, actually, I haven't even gone to the. Okay, so here's the big deal. What do I got? Okay, you probably know about this. I've got an interior Velcro belt that goes into the pants, and what do I put on top of that? My EDC belt. But what's my EDC belt? It's an actual emergency repelling belt. And in fact, all these people like Scunty, for example, are trying to point out, oh, Dave Rose, look at it, his outdoor stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I encourage you to look at my outdoor stuff because I did a video specifically about that where
right.
I utilized this belt, again, made as an emergency repelling belt and utilized it in practice, showing how practical it can be. So that is what I have as my EDC. Well, that's what I'm willing to admit what I have on my EDC. So let's keep it.
I'm gonna wink, wink. I'm gonna wink, wink. Believe you on that one. So we're all good. So yeah, no, it's like my.
Well, what about you?
Well, okay. Well, my EDC, I have a Kershaw switchblade, which is, switchblade, it would be a street term for the knife, but it's an OTF out the front knife or assisted opening knife. Basically, I hit the button and the sharp blade comes out and I cut your throat. I have the multi-tool that's on my key ring. I'm big into the paracord stuff. I love paracord. I love making the knots.
So do I, dude.
Out of it.
So do I, dude.
I have on my belt alone, on the middle of, I have a regular thick leather belt, but I've got it modified to add everything that I want. I have, let's see, paracord wise, I've got 12 feet of paracord on the back of my belt, and then on my
Nice.
key ring, I've got another
Holy
6,
shit.
and then around the handle of that knife,
I gotta
I've got
step up
another
my game.
10 or 11 feet of, and now it's 110 paracord. It's not the 550, so it's the thinner stuff. But the advantage of the thinner stuff is it still holds the strength, but you can wrap like 3 times as much as with the 550. So that's why I went with the 110.
Wow.
If I ever had to make like a tourniquet or, tie something, whatever I may have to do with it. And it's a bright neon green because A, safety line, people notice that it will pop out, and B, it's my favorite color, so I chose neon green. But
Hold on,
besides
neon green, you said?
Mhm. Yes, sir.
You like to attract attention to you while you're trying to stay subdued in the forest.
No, you can't see the neon green cord. Well, okay, the knife itself it's wrapped around the casing of the handle, and that's inside the pocket. So you're not going to see it. All you see sticking out is the metal clip that holds around my pocket. If I were to pull it out and have to use it, then I would want to grab the attention. And I also spend a lot of time outside, out in the woods, and it's a camo handled knife. So if I drop this thing, I need something that's going to pop the eye for me to pick it up. So it was either neon green or the hunter orange. That was the two that made the most sense. So I've got that's my main knife. I have all of the paracord. I have a multi-tool. Basically what I did, I bought 13-inch tall cowboy boots. They're called snake boots, but they're made with this extra tough leather on top. And I attached pockets all in the crown of these. So within my boots alone, I have 2 extra magazines. I've got a backup fixed blade knife. I have, let's see what else is in there.
Hold on. You got to speak liberal. Those aren't magazines. Those are clips, right? They're clips.
No.
You've heard that before.
Clips are what your wife or your girlfriend puts in her hair. Men have magazines.
Clips were the method that were popular in World War II. But those big black little box there, those are called magazines. And it's not something that you read, assholes.
Right. So anybody, I mean, you call it clips if you want to, but that's like the same.
No, I'm not calling nothing shit. I don't call that shit. I'm just calling the people out that call that shit. I'm not saying you are.
It's like the same people who call them silencers or whatever. I mean,
it's a fucking suppressor, you fucking assholes. And guess what? Police and hunters use that. Why? Because literally it hurts your fucking ears.
Yeah.
It's not about I'm going to fucking snipe somebody. It still sounds fucking loud if you've ever heard something with a suppressor. But it's not as loud as enough to fucking damage your fucking ears, you pathetic pussy-ass fucks. And you know what? This is just, it bothers me so much. Again, a Canadian, considering who our Prime Minister is and considering our pathetic addressment of firearms, we need to be ridiculed. We need to be embarrassed. And I feel ashamed because it's so easy to do so because of how pathetic we handle firearms.
Right. Well, I mean, besides that stuff, like I said, I've got the pouches in my boots. I carry multiple items, and I've got a knife in there, 2 magazines.
Nice.
I've got different things on my person. So then on the belt, I carry my main piece. I have, it's like a little, it came with a hunting backpack I bought, but it's like a little utility pouch, basically. And basically what I have in there is a tourniquet that I never opened because it's like compacted and whatever. And it's an actual, like, by the time you fold it out and do whatever, it's like made for like a grown man of up to like 400 pounds. It says it is huge by the time you open it.
Holy
And with
shit.
as many shootings and stuff that are going on, you never know when you're going to.
Actually,
So,
that's a great
just-
point. That's a great point you
Yeah.
make. A lot of people, a lot of these fucking faggots out there would run away from a situation like this. Meanwhile,
Right.
I can guarantee you that people like me, people like Tex,
Yeah.
would run towards the fire.
Oh, 100%.
And
I've
we
been
would
trained to do this. I'm
we-
one of the head security guys at my church. I've had military level training, armed security training to deal with an active shooter situation. I know what I'm talking about.
I've had
This is
first aid
nothing.
training, but I haven't had military training. But guess what?
Yeah.
That's not going to stop me from doing what's right,
No,
which
it shouldn't
never has
stop
stopped me in
anybody
the
from being a
past.
man.
And I will fucking
You know what I
run
mean?
straight into fucking fire to defend those
Well,
that need defending. People
just
can
like-
laugh at
just
that
like with
all
the
they
shooting
fucking
we were talking
want.
about
That's
earlier.
fine.
do you know what stopped it? A good guy with a gun.
That's right.
That's what stopped it.
Well, hold on. Let's rewind a little bit. How many times, which the media doesn't want to respond to, has a shooter that tried to target a church get shot down and put down by somebody that was in the church that was armed? Something that apparently people seem to scoff at. Oh, well, it's so bad that you... Okay, so what? Are you telling me that they didn't have swords in churches back in the day in case somebody tried to invade? So
If anybody needs clarification on that, look up. I believe it's Luke 22:36, and it, Jesus basically tells you, if you don't have a sword, sell what you own.
sell
and go
your
buy
cloak. No, sell your
So-
cloak. Sell your cloak, and buy a sword.
There you go. I mean, if the Bible was written today, Jesus would tell you to go buy a Glock 45 and an AR-15. That's what he would tell you to do. So he knows better than you. Just go listen to him. So it's all good.
And again,
Right.
don't listen to the little hats. They control 90% of the media. So clearly, they're the ones
Right.
that are fucking influencing you. Simple as that. You really
Now-
want to believe that shit?
Now, there is one thing that I do, and I do with my children as well. We have go bags in my vehicle everywhere that we go. And that's not big. It's small enough that it fits under the back seat of my truck. And it basically has enough food, water, and supplies for like a 2 to 3 day voyage if we had to. Do you do something like this, or have you considered this?
I'm able to survive anything with my vehicle. I have it stocked perfectly.
There you
Whether
go.
it be, a sleeping bag and sleeping, foam or whatever the fuck it's called, what you sleep on. The pad, sleeping pad. Blankets, food, MREs. Again, I'm very, very familiar with MREs. Clothing, where do I have to, do I have to really go through my inventory here, bud? Because
No. I was asking in general if you
oh,
had,
dude, I can look.
basically if you had a go bag that if the nuclear explosion happened right now and you had to leave, if you had a bag or something you could grab and go and
No,
survive
I don't
on,
need.
basically.
But okay, I'll address that. I don't need to grab anything. It's already packed and ready to go. My bug out bag, my bob, all ready to go. So I'm ready, and I've got sufficient supplies that I'll be able to survive. Certainly, if I wished to stay amongst humanity, or I could retreat to the wilderness and live like a king.
Oh yeah. Well, I have 2 vehicles, and both of them have supplies for me and both of my children. That if shit were to hit the fan, we could adios out of here and hit our bug out location. We have one of those too.
Glad that you've planned to that extent, which everyone should. I want to advise people that everyone should do exactly what Tex is doing. Plan it out. Find a location
Not
where
just
you
plan
can.
it out, but practice it.
Yes,
Practice it in the middle of the
yes. Practice it. Go through these exercises, and it's the same as what happened in the 50s, where people practiced the nuclear bombings. But guess what? I think it's important that you do that, as does Tex, because guess what? I think you're going to need it.
Oh yeah. Well, you should. I mean, think about it. Whenever you were in school, didn't you practice the fire drill of where you walked to and how you got there and everything else? You should have a well rehearsed plan of if whatever is going on. If it's bad enough that you have to leave your bug out location or your home, you need to have a destination that you're going to, enough supplies to get you there.
Yep.
And
also
at least 2 ways to get to that location in case one of them is blocked out.
Another thing I want to recommend, and I'm sure you know about this, is that they're called caches or stores.
Yeah.
But basically, even if it's not at your location, you find a location that isn't visited very often, a location that you can utilize. You dig a hole very deep. You can transplant some sort of cooler in there, anything. It could be a big barrel, right? But you put that in the grounds and it's nice and level. Yep. You fill it up with all sorts of supplies that will last, non-perishables, for a long time.
Yep.
Cover it up with the cover, and then cover it up with soil and so forth. Make it look indistinguishable, but remember where it is. These sorts of things are what people have been doing for a long time. In fact, the voyageurs of Canada have been doing that for quite some time too. Is that on their ways they would create these storages, and they would allow for smoked meats and all that stuff to be put in there, and they would have an emergency store. This is the same thing that I'm referring to.
Yep. The best buckets that you can get for that, go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get those 5-gallon buckets with the lids that have the 2 seals on them.
Yep.
That click into place. They're cheap. They're like $3 or $4 per bucket, I think.
As somebody who is an outdoor educator, basically what they do is they just, a lot of companies just add a backpack to that system. They add straps and stuff. Yep. They sell that for canoeing backpack, which are useful and stuff, but they're very easy to get a hold of, and they're very simplistic because they just do the exact same thing. You store your shit in there, you got these 2 clamps, and it keeps it all sealed.
Yep. What I'm going to do, since we're going to do a full-on prepper show, I'm going to put a very detailed list together of what my suggestions to y'all would be. Because like I said, I'm a 10-year prepper. I'm a veteran at this. I've got years worth of supplies. Like, I'm not new to this game, and neither is Dave. So I'm going to put together a detailed list. We'll break it down. We'll go over it probably next week or something.
Yeah, the prepper show. We're going to really break it down for people.
Yes. We're going to go into highly deep detail of what our suggestions to you would be to help get you started if you're not already doing this. Because this is something that everyone should be doing. I don't care who you are. You have car insurance, don't you? Well, this is the same principle. So look forward to that next week, next Thursday, and it'll be very informative. It'll be a show that you can download and save, listen to later. There will be a lot of meat on that bone. So there will be, like I said, look forward to that next Thursday about the same time. So I'm going to get to working on this next week. But, you know, needless to say, we're going to help. We're not just going to talk what do we think about the world, but we're going to help get y'all prepared too. We enjoy this shit. We know this shit. It's our duty and responsibility to help the ones who can't help themselves sometimes. So this is what we're going to do. So hopefully we can make y'all a little bit smarter. You know what I mean? So,
And we'll be unrepentant as we do it. So if you're getting
course.
offended, get your preparation H because you're gonna fucking need it.
Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, it's it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of fun shows coming. Some will be more serious than others, depending on what's happening in the world. But
Well, well, they can be guaranteed that we're never gonna pull any punches. That we're gonna just say
ooh,
exactly what we fucking think and say. And if they get offended,
sir,
well, there's two dicks that you can choose to suck. So.
there you go. That's we're not here to give you a slap and tickle. We're here to give you the whole fucking deal. So you know, this is our mission in life. I fully 100% believe we were destined to do this. So
Well,
it's going to be good.
we've been going on for almost 3 hours and 30 minutes. I mean, to me, it
Yeah.
seemed like an hour. It did not seem that long.
Oh,
Um,
this is great.
but
This is exactly what this community needs. I want y'all to share this show, tell your friends, left, right, in the middle. I don't give a shit. Get them in here. We'll convert them. Leave that up to us. So we'll figure it the fuck out. So
and again, we're unrepentant. We're gonna continue to do what we do. And you want to hate us? Well, get in line because that line forms
that's a
around the
big fan
block.
club. Oh, that's great.
But,
Well, I don't know about you, bud, but I'm about ready to sign off.
yeah, I
got
think
shit to
I
do.
think we
I
did.
got to be productive in the morning.
Well, no, so do I. But I think again, we did a great job. We went
Yes, sir.
close to 3 hours and 30 minutes. I think that's fucking. Again, I love equal numbers. So 3 hours 30 minutes, awesome.
Oh well, let's
But
get this thing to 3:30 then.
yeah, it goes to show that we can do a great show regardless of any drama that's going on. But more importantly, we're literally speaking what nobody has the guts to speak on in the community. Tex and me literally are the true courageous individuals that really don't give a fuck. And yeah, this is airing on my channel. It gets struck and fucking destroyed. Guess what? New channel gets started up. It's as simple as that. We don't give a fuck. We're going to continue what we do
We ain't going nowhere.
unrepentantly. And you're going to fucking learn the truth, whether it hurts you or not.
If we have to drag you kicking and screaming, we're going to do it.
That's
It's all
right.
good.
And that's why we recommended Preparation Edge, because you may need it.
They'll like it eventually. They'll learn to love us one
Well,
way or another.
Absolutely. So on that note, we're going to wrap up here. Thank you for everyone
Yes,
for
sir.
joining us in the chat and for watching, especially the hate viewers, because there's always a lot of hate viewers. But again, I'm going to have to agree with you, Tex. We literally are the greatest show on YouTube right now. It's as simple as that. You can argue it
There's
all
no
you
doubt
want.
about that.
In fact, if you want to argue it, call in and fucking debate it.
Right,
But the fact is, we are the greatest fucking show on YouTube right now because we have the
Yes,
guts
sir.
to address the facts. So that, I think, speaks on its own. But we're going to wrap up because we've been doing an awesome job tonight. And you know what? We deserve a break as well to go enjoy ourselves.
Yes, sir.
3 hours, 32 minutes. So on that note, my name is Devious Dave Rose. I am joined by the man who really does not need any sort of introduction, but we'll say that his name is Tex. And we will see you next time when it comes to Hard Right, Episode 3. So stay tuned, and remember, we don't give a flying fuck expect us.
Damn right.